the field of lights. This is part of it.
Okay.
So this is like the main section you first go
So
into.
so you build a field of lights, and the food trucks come, and the music performers,
and of course, and then of course,
and the
you
VIPs.
do that, and people will pay $40 to see it.
You paid $40?
We paid $40
per person or in total?
Per person, yes.
So you paid $80.
Well, brought my sister-in-law, so it would be
120.
120, yeah. Holy crap, holy! But no, it was cool. But and the things would very slowly change colors.
And then
I mean, kind of go, okay, but I'm standing here staring at this thing, and it's not changing colors.
Now, do they somehow have like the surround, like they have a parking lot where you go and you park, and can you not see the field from the parking lot?
Nope.
So they actually,
it's over the hill.
So they have to have a hill for the field to be behind in order to set this up so they can charge money. Otherwise, it's just an open field you can see for miles.
Right. No. That's why you need to be in the place with all these hills around it. There's all these little.
Yeah.
It was all very hilly. I mean, in fact, you couldn't see into the next valley to see if, did they have more lights there? No, you have to walk the path and see if the path will go there. In fact, we did go through this little canyon. Let me see if I got any pictures of the canyon. See how cool that is? That's really cool. I'll even zoom in on.
There you go.
Super coolness. Very cool. Oh, and we're even live. Cool.
We are, yes.
So, oops.
1947 for what is it? Some screwdrivers?
Yeah, set of screwdrivers.
Is that to remember what were you price shopping, like back and forth between a few different stores?
No, you know what it was? I could see the price from down below. This was way the hell up there, out of reach. The only thing I could see was the 1947, and I go, okay, is this the, what is it, a 10-piece set, I think? Is this the 10-piece set?
12-piece.
12-piece set. Yeah.
Oh, I see. You want to make sure that the price correlated to the package,
with the actual item, right,
before you jumped up and grabbed it off the peg hook.
Right.
Perfect.
And as it turns out, I didn't even buy that one. This is the Husky. They also had a DeWalt, which was like $22. They were just better quality.
Well, see, this is
when you look at
this is far less embarrassing when you go too far in the photo stream than when I've done this. So that you have that going for you.
So yeah, I know. At least we don't have to take it down when we're done. I don't know if you can see it. So if you look at the tip of this Phillips head, it was all kind of jaggedy.
Yeah.
Phillips heads can be a pain anyway. I don't need to have it all jaggedy.
Yeah.
So I went for the DeWalt, which didn't have a problem. And that the DeWalt was only a 10-piece set.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyways,
Field of Lights.
So that was your trip to the Field of Lights, and with that we should open up the show once again, because once again it is time for another fun-filled edition of
Insert Title Here,
the show that changes names so frequently we just put a placeholder in and then stop changing the name. And I'm here, Brian's here,
and Brian's here,
and the NHB streams are not here because the NHB streams, here we are a week later and they're still streaming Silence. So I don't know if Rico is still cutting holes into walls trying to find the server so he can restart it, or what's going on. But that's that's okay, because we have the stick cams up. No, we don't have the stick cams up. Stick cams been gone for a long time. We have the Twitch is up. Well, then again, now Dune's saying that he thought it was okay yesterday. So maybe we're having some temperamental issues that get fixed and unfixed quickly, because I didn't even check to see if it was working again later. But the Twitch is up, the YouTube is up, so, you know, big deal. So we don't have the audio-only stream. That's okay, because we're here, you're here, we're all here.
That's right.
And,
this is turning into a video show.
Yes. Although I think it still works as an audio show.
Well, we hope. Although, you know what, once in a while we show pictures. So
right, but I always make a point to describe the pictures as if you know, we're on a network run by blind people. You know, old habits die hard.
Yeah.
But
well, and sometimes, you know, when I'm taking pictures, I go, let's see, focus in with my glasses off, my glasses on, take those sunglasses off or whatever. I'm the frickin' blind photographer.
You know, I about a year or so ago, I started having an eye twitch. And so then I called an eye doctor, and they said, well, we could squeeze you in for an appointment in 3 months. And I said, yeah, but my eye is twitching now. And they said, well, you could try this other eye doctor that's on our emergency call list. I'm like, well, I don't know if an eye twitch is exactly a life-threatening emergency. What should I do? And it's like, well, no, that's the point of this, is that if you need to see an eye doctor now, call this office. And it turns out it's just another eye doctor office that was able to fit me in sooner. So I call them up. They fit me in for like the next day or 2 days, or, you know, sometime pretty soon. Of course, by a few days later, when I go for my appointment, the eye's not twitching anymore. Now, mind you, I called after 2 or 3 days of my eye twitching. Now I think the big problem is that, well, there's a few problems. One, I have made it a point to very rarely ever wear glasses. Now, I do know that when I was growing up, the eye doctor prescribed me reading glasses for farsightedness, which basically means that, you know, farsighted doesn't mean you can see far. It means you can't see near. And nearsighted means
exactly
because now, in its simplest terms to a child, it's like, well, you're farsighted. Oh, I can see far. But then you find out that someone can be both nearsighted and farsighted, and that's why they need bifocals. And I'm like, wait a minute, but if you're farsighted and you're nearsighted, then you can see both and you're fine. And it's like, no, farsighted means you can't see near. Nearsighted means you can't see far. So if you're both, you can't see shit. And that was... and speaking of people who can't see shit, we have Mars in the house.
Then you have people that need trifocals.
I may not be able to see, but I could sure smell shit. I'm just saying.
I gotta say, I think for once in my life, I actually had the nonsensical transition be perfect and make perfect sense.
Yes. I looked at Twitch. It said blind photographer. I'm like, well, I guess I should call in. I don't, I mean, I actually did pretty good taking pictures on family vacation. So, you know.
Oh, that's great. When
was this? When was this?
I went to the boardwalk, beach boardwalk this summer, this July, with all my nieces and nephews came.
Oh, okay.
And my 3 sisters were here, so we had a family thing. And we were at the boardwalk, and you know, just aimed a freaking camera at the voices and take pictures, and apparently they came out okay.
Was that with a cell phone? Cell phone camera?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
I mean, my Pixel does pretty good. So.
Yeah.
It has computational picture thingies. I don't know.
Okay.
So.
Anyways, Dune's complaining that I didn't start the stream, but I didn't start the stream because it's not working.
The online stream thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now Dune said he thinks it was working yesterday, but but he said that he fixed it. Okay. All right. So now I'm hitting the play button and it says streamer is connecting, but I don't think it's connecting. Oh, you know what? I need to, all right. I thought it stopped. And now I need to start again. And, now it's, all right. So, no, do we get a slideshow of your pictures?
Audio. Hey, It's Gothard.
Is he in the room?
Gothard?
Or is he on
Yay.
the stream? Oh, he's on the stream, I guess.
Yeah.
On the automation. Which automation
okay.
clip is it with Gothard?
It's customer.
So he's
Yeah,
not
A few
Walmart
minutes
live.
would go
pages from
by,
Amateur
and I
Hours
needed to
on right
repeat the
now.
page. My policy was my pages got more obnoxious every time I had to repeat the page. So, you know,
Look at
maybe
that.
my second page would be, could any member of
Peter's just
management
like, you don't
please
have
come
to
to
be shown.
electronics for
Listen.
customer assistance? Any member of management, please come to electronics for customer assistance.
We're
And I
falling
would do
through
things.
the vortex.
Yes, that was how I would page in Walmart, and by the fourth or fifth page, it was any available member of management, please come to electronics for customer assistance. And I'm not exaggerating. I did page exactly like that. Brian, could you imagine hearing a page like that in your local mall?
Of course.
The problem
What is
is
this,
at the
train
at the
station?
stores. The problem is at the stores. You would hear over the intercoms because you can't understand anything they say. They're
Yeah.
all overblown.
Oh, well, I don't know. The ones
Yeah.
I worked at worked well enough, but maybe I adjusted. But I do remember one day when I was working at the Walmart in Maine, out of nowhere, a page started, and it was just a bunch of quacks. The person was just quacking, and I mean they were quacking with like syllables as if it were a sentence, except that instead of words, they were quacks. And
Did
So
you
what
ever
I
go?
did-
Excuse me, Walmart in Maine. Please, would you please come to customer service and then run and then run out the back door? Is that? Did you ever do that?
Right.
I never did that. No, I didn't
What
work
was
at
the
a.
line again? What was the line again?
Oh, would
Please.
the GIMP? Would you please come to customer service? Please come to customer service and then run out the back door.
There you go.
There you
But
go.
So I when I was about 15 years old, I worked one summer at the Boy Scout camp,
mhm.
and I was a dining hall steward.
Okay.
So we're just kind of helping people get their meals or get the crap that they need,
Right.
napkins, forks, and knives, and whatever. And there was a microphone and an announcer, and you get on there and you would call out things,
Right.
announcements and stuff.
Table
Or,
12, come get
somebody
your
had-
meatloaf.
Somebody
Yeah.
or whatever, or somebody would have some other unrelated announcement. Anyway, so what we would do is take the microphone and jam it under your under your chin and talk, and it would be
Like this, then. So it would sound just about as good as this.
pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There was some senior staff member says, "Hey, cut that out."
Well, yeah.
It's like, damn. Hey, can't we have fun? We're at Boy Scout camp. It's all
No,
about
Yeah.
that's not what Boy Scout camp's about.
Oh.
No. No. No, that's one thing I
And then
learned.
the fight starts.
That's what I learned from being in the Boy Scouts. No part of Boy Scout camp is about fun.
Well, I had fun at my Boy Scouts, my Cub Scout stuff. It was a lot of fun.
When you're
did
troop,
we did Pinewood derbies. We went camping. we did lots of stuff. It was
Well,
a lot of fun.
Pinewood Derby's Cub Scouts.
I don't
and-
care.
and-
It was fun
and
to
that-
do.
and
Gators,
that was
come on. Don't tell me that's
Cub,
not cool.
Cub Scouts was fun. Boy Scouts not so much. But then again, my troop decided to pick their number. They weren't assigned that they had to have picked this number because I was in Troop 1776.
Wow.
And that is a troop that ain't messing around.
Wow, that was serious crap. I bet you people in Boston were saying, "What the hell? Why did they get that number?"
Troop 1776.
They're close to Trenton, right?
from
Or is that not really?
Neshannock, New Jersey.
Right. Yeah. How did they get that number? Who did they bribe?
I don't know who they bribe or who they paid off, but someone got paid off, and but that was the troop number. And like Cub Scouts was fun, Boy Scouts not so much. And you know who were the worst? The sons of the Scoutmasters.
Oh,
They were
yeah,
the
yeah,
worst.
yeah.
They were the worst. They were and I could start naming names, but I
But
won't.
I was in a troop, and the only people that got to Eagle Scout was the Scoutmaster's son. So there was a forming police explorer group,
Uh-huh.
and I says, "Well, I could join that." There was actually no effort to do any advancement.
Hmm.
So I had enough merit badges for life, I think, but I didn't go for it. I didn't go for the
Life. That's
grade.
one step below Eagle. That's
That's right.
I
Yeah,
mean
yeah, yeah.
I mean my troop we had a few
But I was
Star
first
Scouts.
class because
We
I
only
never went for that grade.
yeah. I know in my time in Boy Scouts I attended 2 Eagle Award ceremonies. So it didn't happen that often. But there were a few of the scouts in my troop that did get up to Eagle. I knew there was a group. I mean, there was one patrol that was actually the senior patrol, they were called, and it was all the older ones that, although there is a cutoff age, you know, there is a cutoff age to Boy Scouts. So if you don't get Eagle by then, you're out of luck.
Yeah.
So there is a time limit there. But yeah, no, life, that is, I think I didn't know many that got to that point.
Well, let's put it this way: the
Star seemed to be
rank
the
of
plateau.
life, the Frank, yeah. Well, in fact, in my troop, the first class was the plateau. Okay, the life rank, I think, is first loser, and Star is second loser.
There you go.
Right?
Well, I only made it to second class, although I think technically I had completed the requirements for first class, but I was like, no, because my parents, here's the thing, I was being abused. There's no other way to put it, but the bullying that was going on in that troop, I have to describe as abusive. And there were some people I got along with in the Boy Scouts, and you know, my parents went to encourage me to participate in extracurricular activities, so I stuck with it for a number of years. I got to second class. I worked my way through most of the requirements for first class, and it just got to the point where after the second year of summer camp, I was like, I cannot take this anymore. Get me the fuck out of here. I mean, they're punching my arm till I'm black and blue. They're putting a flagpole between my legs, lifting me up on it, laughing like this is some kind of a joke that they called a Chinese bicycle ride.
And the leadership did nothing, right?
Well, it was the leadership's sons. They all blamed me for creating a ruckus. I'd be, screaming in pain,
so
and they're
pull
like,
up
"Hey,
your sleeve to the scoutmaster. You say, so it's my fault, right?"
There was a scoutmaster and I will name this name. There was a scoutmaster by the name of Mr. Murphy, red hair, red beard, who literally, when I'm trying to explain this to him, after he yelled at me for causing a ruckus, which my ruckus was screaming in pain as they were giving me a Chinese bicycle ride in the tent, large tent that has room for standing up and stuff like that.
Chinese bicycle ride was the actual name?
That's what they called this thing.
Wow.
And he's yelling at me that I need to behave and
that sounds kind of racist, doesn't it?
I'm just repeating what they called this thing they did to me.
No, and I'm not.
I do not endorse.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. But
I don't know what I don't even know what the insult is there for it to be racist, but I do understand that suggesting something that includes a race in there could be, but that's what they called it.
Or a Chinese fire drill. You've participated in that, right?
I've not participated in that.
You haven't. Oh shoot!
No. Dune writing in.
Very disturbing childhood.
Dune writes in, you are sadly right about the bullying. Yeah, I don't think all troops are like that. Gothard has good, pleasant stories about his time in Boy Scouts. So it's, this is not a blanket statement about scouting, but my feelings towards scouting is generally negative for personal reasons.
Actually, the Police Explorers was really cool because we were all probably over 15.
But to finish the story,
we were left alone to do our own thing, and we all got along. It was a good time. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough of the police activity which was the goal.
So I'm trying to explain to Mr. Murphy,
Yeah, Mr. Murphy.
Red Beard,
Yeah.
Troop
Yeah.
1776, Central New Jersey, that, among his sons, other Scoutmaster's sons and other bullies were doing the same to me, and that's why I was yelling out, which pissed him off, that I'm being obnoxious and loud. And I'm like, but dude, they're, and he literally covered his ears, walked away, and said, la, 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 I am not listening to you. And I am not exaggerating that, and I am not grown-ass man who I'm trying to tell I am being bullied is and that is why I have very strong feelings of hatred towards that guy. Do not like that guy at all. So yeah, that was my. So at that point, now I told my parents this story, and my dad came in on the second half, and all he heard was while I was trying to explain to him, he wouldn't listen to me, and he yelled "la la la la, I am not listening." And my dad's like, "Well, you probably should have, stopped trying to explain to him, and just calm down or what." And my mom's like, "No. You didn't hear the first part of the story." And that's when I told them the whole story. And I don't know if my dad ever did anything about that or not. I know because my dad was involved on the volunteer basis on the financial ends of stuff with the troop. So
he knew people in the back office, like the district superintendent.
Well, there's not even a back office. It's just that while the scout meeting is going on, there were people not in uniforms that were fathers of some of the people in the kitchen area that were taking care of business stuff. And my dad knew all these people. So I would hope that he said something or did something, but I sometimes you never know what goes on behind the scenes or what words are said to other people. But thinking back at this now,
you would think that your dad would say that,
he must have.
I talked to such and such, but he didn't ever tell you a thing.
Well, he doesn't want to. Keep in mind, I'm still a punk ass kid myself, so he doesn't want me to go like, yeah, well, my dad talked to your dad. Not that sometimes parents don't tell their kids everything that's going on.
This is something should have been followed up on. Period.
Well,
you should have been let know. After all, it had something to do with you.
This wasn't even like the worst bullying I dealt with, though. But anyways, I don't know. That's not what I wanted to tell or dwell on here. It's just a thought that kind of popped in my head now. I was like, wait a minute, what? But then the thing is that basically I reached a point where I'm like, I'm done with Scouts. I want out. And my parents didn't want to let me quit right away. On the one hand, yes, I had those negative experiences, but also I wasn't always having negative experiences all the time. So I guess my parents might have saw it as a salvageable situation. I did get along with some people. I generally got along with people that were in my patrol. I did have some fun stories I came back with from camping trips. I had been doing this for 2 years. So, should they let me quit over one bad camping trip? Or I don't remember all the conversations or anything, but I know it reached a point where my parents said, well, we'll let you quit after you finish your first class because you're almost there. You have like 2 things left to check off. Why don't you finish that and then you can leave having accomplished something else there? And I remember one day we were having that conversation on the way to visit my great-grandparents. And I'm just pissed. Like, no, I don't want to go back there. I'm done with this. I want out. And to the point where I was still talking about it at my great-grandparents' house, which I think embarrassed my parents because after that, they never brought the topic back up and I never went to another meeting. I don't know if I feel good about that, but
they finally, shall we say, a silent acknowledgement of the issue.
Yeah.
Okay,
that certainly got my point across. That
and but the thing is, they didn't want to deal with the issue.
I don't even know.
Good parenthood.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying they didn't deal with the issue. They you know.
So you were satisfied with how they handled it?
I can't even say because I don't, like I said, I don't know what conversations my dad had with other people behind the scenes. But thinking back, I'd imagine my dad must have at some point had some words with someone. I just was never, and I'm not going to go ask him, hey, Dad, all those years ago when I was being abused in the Scouts, did you say anything to anyone? Yeah, kind of an awkward. Knowing my dad, I feel pretty confident he probably said things, and it probably went nowhere because they're all the Scout leaders. It probably something like, "Oh, I'll talk to my son," or "Oh, well, thank you for telling us." You know, who knows? You never know. That was my scouting experience, though. But I never finished telling the eye story.
All right, back to the other story.
So
From a microphone under your chin.
well, actually, I want to ask Mars a question.
Uh-oh.
Mars, is he still there? Hey,
Mars, how do you do on the eye exam? No, actually, a coffee question. Mars, if I were to consider like buying a better coffee machine, do you have recommendations, or are you just using one of the cheap drip machines?
Well, do you want a drip coffee machine or do you want something else?
Well, I was flipping through videos on YouTube, and this guy I can only describe as British coffee snob YouTuber.
Oh, I love him. He's cool. I know there are two people I watch. What's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name, but he's pretty cool. I know who you're talking about, though. I know exactly. He's very calm when he talks, and he's always talking about coffee. And, no, the guy's pretty cool. The guy's pretty cool, though. I really like him.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, but
He talks like that?
Yeah, he's really good, though.
Dude, the guy needs more coffee.
He doesn't drink coffee, Brian. He drinks coffee for the taste and for the notes and
yeah. you got to you do the slurp with the spoon to get the taste.
So what kind of machine? What kind of machine would you like? Are you looking for drip? Are you looking for more like? I have a French press as well. I use a French press once in a while. It's not an everyday thing for me. But right now I have a drip machine, but it grinds my beans and it's a Cuisinart. It's okay.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I am by no means a coffee snob or coffee expert. I'm kind of like a step above the average Joe.
You're Folgers.
I don't do the Folgers. Now, mind you, growing up, coffee in our house that my parents drank every morning was they put a kettle of water on the stove. They'd open up the jar of the freeze-dry Folgers, put a few scoops in the mug, and then pour the boiling water over it. And I know this because whenever I caught fireflies in the summer, I always put them in a jar with a big white star on a red cap on the top there that I'd poke holes in.
Yeah.
So,
Those were good jars. I'm going to tell you, those were pretty good jars, though.
They were good jars for catching the fireflies.
Yeah, they were.
Either you didn't poke the holes and they were all dead the next morning, or you poked the holes and they all squeezed out overnight. I couldn't quite get...
well, no, I poked the holes, they'd still be dead in the morning, so I don't know.
There's that, too. It rained and they drowned.
And then you're
floating dead fireflies.
You catch the fireflies, you'd squish them on your arm and write crap in glowing letters, and you'd be like, yeah, that's not... It's not right.
That's not right. There's something not right with that guy.
Don't do that, but it works.
So, but the first video of his that got recommended to me on YouTube that I watched was him basically talking trash about these these crap drip coffee machines, but what can we do to make it better? And I mean, he's opening it up and looking at the heating elements, and he's trying to modify, because the idea is that when it first starts dripping, the water isn't hot enough yet.
Nope.
So then I watch a video where he recommends those machines, and it's the type of machines where it actually has like a chamber where it heats the water and then it drops it down. And so I I don't know. I'm not tried different coffee machines. I don't know what the taste differences are between different machines. All I know is I like coffee that's not freeze dried, and I like my freshly ground coffee beans that I buy. I like my French roast beans. But I have the Walmart special that I probably paid $10 for some years ago. That is the type of coffee machine that James
might be
would.
burning your coffee. Those that
Yeah.
Does it have a toggle switch on and off in the front?
Yes, and if I turn it off, then when I come back a few hours later, I have cold coffee. If I leave it on when I come back a few hours
so
later,
it's
I have cooked coffee.
It's the Walmart version of Mr. Coffee. That's pretty bad, Gators.
No,
Now,
it's
you could get a decent drip coffee. That's probably, honestly, the burner is probably burning your coffee by this.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a cheap machine, and it's probably not doing a good extraction and all that stuff because it's just one of your basic cheap Mr. Coffee type thing, and it's not a
but okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. On Mr. Coffee, you've turned that switch off. It's going to go cold.
right. But even then, it's
But
not heating it's
if
not doing a good
it's
job of
left
heating the
on,
water to do the
Well, if
initial
it's
brew.
left
Even
on, it will stay warm, or even stay hot. But to me, that's not what it's all about. It's all about making the coffee.
now, Dune is recommending Bunn.
Bun, yes.
Braun? B-R-A-U-N?
B-U-N-N.
BUNN, and
Restaurants will have those.
he's typed this twice, so it's not a
there's-
typo.
There's that
Um,
one. What is it? Breville makes a pretty decent one. Breville's are a little more expensive, but those go up to about $60-$70.
Well, the Cuisinart should be decent, right?
Yeah, I
Right.
like my
Well,
Cuisinarts,
no,
yeah.
but mind you, I
Although
think what I
it
have.
tends to be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, mine was about $250.
Oh, so you do have a decent machine,
yeah.
because
Yeah, that's why we're talking to the expert.
so
I'm not
so
an expert,
Not
but
gonna have. Well, hey,
Well,
compared to most people,
you're
you're our
my
coffee guy.
you're my friend with the $250 coffee machine, so you're the best advice I could get.
I don't know. It's a Cuisinart. You get what I mean. My last one. Okay, this is my second one. My first one lasted me about 10 years. It worked really well, and I babied it. I cleaned it every day. You take out the grinder. You clean the grinder every day. You clean out the insides. You clean out the area where the filter goes in. You clean all that stuff out, and you put it every day. And you take care of your equipment, and it'll last 10 years. You don't take care of your equipment. My sister got one, and she didn't take care of it, and it lasted her a year and a half. So,
Right.
So,
And-
so
and
actually,
just-
I was on Twitter, and they were talking about cleaning your Keurig machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was an article, and you have to go into all the details and blah blah
oh,
blah blah.
that's
and
easy, Brian.
running
You just do what you do with a Keurig. All you do is fill it up half vinegar, half water. You put it in the back, and then you sit there. You run it you run it halfway through the cycle. You hold it. So it sits there, and you keep it there for an hour, and then you finish off the cup, and then you clean it 2 or 3 times.
I've read
So-
those directions.
Yeah.
Now, in fact, on this machine that I have here, at my main house,
Mhm.
I've had that machine for probably 12 years ish.
Okay.
And I think I've run the vinegar through it twice. And it's
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, blah. You should clean it out at least every 6 months, Brian. Blah.
I know. Well, actually, this person that was talking about it says, "Oh, you ought to do it every month." Oh,
Oh no, that's a
Depends.
little too frequent, I
do
think.
For
do I need to
mine-
do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
When I clean my when I clean my Cuisinart, my coffee machine, I do it every 3 months, and the first one with vinegar and water comes out like a pot of coffee. It's that black.
You know what I've found really helps is I always put my coffee grounds in the filter before putting the filter in the basket, and I didn't always do that.
I'm sorry, you do what again?
I put my grounds in the filter and then put my filter in the basket. Because I
How do you
found,
get different?
because I find, I have the coffee grounds in the thing, and I turn it. I had the filter in the basket, and then I take it, I turn it over the filter, the basket, and do a little tapping, and grounds would disperse a little bit, and you don't notice it, and it doesn't happen right away. But after a few years, you start to notice that anytime you wipe a paper towel in the water chamber in the coffee machine, it picks up a brown film. And I gotta tell you, ever since I started doing the whole coffee grounds go in the filter here, and now I dropped the filter in the basket, I have not had a problem with a brown film being cleaned out from my water tank.
See, my problem is when I had my old Mr. my old ones, my original ones. How many scoops of coffee do you usually put in a pot, Gators?
How many scoops? I don't do
ha-
scoops. I just select the dial for how many cups I'm brewing on the coffee grinder. Hit the button.
I mean, how
and
much grounds do you put in the filter usually?
However much comes out of the grinder.
Okay. Well, you know the basket with the filter in it. I just
Right.
filled that all the way to the top.
Wow, that is
And then
some
I
pretty
pushed the go
strong
button.
coffee.
Yeah,
That is.
my friends would come over and say, "Dude, why does the spoon stick straight up in your coffee?" I go, "What?"
You got some mud there.
Yeah, I
But-
love my mud.
Yeah,
Oh my
just
god, I
mud-
go through a
mud
pot and a
is
half a
usually
day.
not
I
very
would go for 2 pots of that
No.
a day. It's
It's
awesome.
tasteless.
No, for
That
those
can
that
have a
said
lot of strong taste.
for those that responded to my initial comment with British coffee snob YouTuber, I have got to check this out. That guy would be James Hoffman.
It's James Hoffman. And he's
James
not a snob, but
Hoffman's
he's
the
pretty
guy.
cool. He is a lot of fun to watch.
And he's not really a snob, but
No.
But anyone that's British and talks about how much better the expensive stuff is to the cheap stuff, the initial.
Well, he
but
does espresso makers, and he does the high end espresso. He does a lot of
I mean,
cool
it's the
stuff.
British accent. The first time I saw the guy, I'm like, whoa, coffee snob, dude. And it's like, no, he's very polite. He's very nice. I feel awful that I've said that. Like,
I love James
5
Hoffman.
or
I
6
watch a lot of
times
his
now.
stuff. Yeah,
No,
he's
no,
pretty
he
cool.
is totally
He's
not
really
a coffee. He might be a coffee snob, but he's totally not a snob. So
He likes his coffee. He loves his stuff.
he'd probably come over to your house, sit down with you, and help you slurp a few samples to figure out what you like. He's that type of guy.
Well, he'd also bring his own espresso machine with him too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he'd bring a bunch of different blends and different
Yeah.
things and go through it. In fact, I watched a video where he sat down with this other streamer who is not all that into coffee and basically had like 3 cups to compare, and then he started doing different things to compare another 3 cups and basically kind of dialed in what this guy's perfect cup of coffee is. And that was but I also watched another one of his videos where he compared like 5 different coffee machines, and at the end he's like, well, they're all really good. Whatever and it's like, what's the point of comparing them if you're not going to declare a winner? But what I gathered from it was that this one was nearly as good as the expensive one, but was the cheapest one. And so this is a Behmor, Behmor, and the Brazen 3.0 was the one he was reviewing there. And I'm thinking maybe I pick up one of those. And like I said, this was one of the cheaper ones in there. But to pick one up is... Oh, that's a Canadian site. Where the heck's the USA site?
Well, his
it's
stuff
like
is anything he recommends is at least $200 or more. It seems.
$200, $199.
Yep, like I said, everything he recommends is about $200 or more.
And so Mars,
you go to
you're
espresso makers, you get 500 or above. So
Mars, you're confirming that $200 is about the right price to be paying for a good coffee machine, and that makes a world of difference from the $25 special.
it depends. Can you taste the difference in really good coffee and okay coffee?
I don't know. I don't have this machine yet to compare. But I see 2 things happening. One, I buy this machine and I go, oh, that tastes about the same. I just blew $200. Or I buy this machine and I go, man, that's some damn good coffee.
Holy crap! I've never had anything like that before.
You know what you could do, Gators? This is what I think you should do.
Yeah.
Pick up a French press. A French press is really easy to use, and they're
I've-
like $20.
I've had a French press. I've
Okay.
used a French press.
Yeah.
I don't care all that much for the coffee that comes out of the French press, and it's not that I don't like strong coffee, but I don't know if I'm doing it wrong because I put the hot water in. I make sure to not do it for too long, but you still get grounds in there no matter how coarse you grind, so you gotta let it settle and don't
you put it in
slurp
French.
to the bottom.
You put your grinder in French.
And B, it comes out stronger than I really would prefer. And even though I like strong, I don't know. I've never really cared for a French press coffee, but maybe I'm doing it wrong.
I'll drink 24 ounces of that in like 3 seconds. I love that stuff.
But yeah, I guess I see. So I don't, I do know, I do know a few times I've gone to a coffee shop with Gothard, order a cup, and I think, wow, this is really good. But I don't know if it's like what they're getting in or their machines. I mean, it's a combination of so many things. I mean, it's not just one thing. I think I got good beans. I think I got a grinder that is passable, but not the greatest, but it grinds. But I know my machine is really cheap. So it's like, do I spend the $200 on the Captain Britain's recommended machine, or
what really comes down to, Johnny, really comes down to, and I was told this, and Americans don't know how to drink coffee, and it's true.
And Britons do.
Britons.
Whatever.
Okay, that's a different argument.
Okay. They know how to drink tea.
Well, and the thing is that why do we drink coffee? That's because we threw the tea in the
haba.
Right? In the haba. So we're drinking coffee like they drink tea. We haven't figured out how to drink coffee, even though it's been, 250 years or whatever.
Well, no, we figured out how to drink crap coffee. You go to where if it's free, you fill up the cup, you drink it down, you don't complain, and you go back for another cup. That's how you drink free crappy coffee. That's
well,
what Schitt's Creek has a really funny thing about the coffee at the hotel, at the motel.
What I would do, Gators, is you don't have to buy a $200 one. I would look around to see if anything is temperature controlled or has features you actually think would actually make your coffee. The $25 one, I guarantee, is probably burning your coffee.
Oh, I know it's burning my coffee because my second cup always tastes like crap. My first cups taste fine, but it's fresh out of the pot.
Well, the first cup's always going to taste the best, no matter what coffee machine you're going to have.
I'll bribe you if you stay. No, I'm talking to the cat.
So I know a person that.
Wow.
I think it's a.
I thought you were hitting on Brian there for a second. I didn't know.
No, the cat's leaving, and I don't want the cat to leave. So I have a bag of treats I keep nearby now to ride the cat.
Bribing the kitty. Dude doesn't have to bribe his dogs. They just show up. All of them.
So I know a person that has something like a Mr. Coffee.
Yeah.
Makes the pot in the morning, has a cup, and then just turns the switch off. Leaves it there all day, comes home from work, flips the switch back on, wait till it warms up, and then has another cup of coffee.
Well, better putting it in the microwave, honestly. But
well, I mean, and here's the thing.
And that's possible. That could be
this morning. I had my first cup, and thinking about James talking about how that machine's burning your coffee, I flipped the switch off, and then of course a few work related calls and discussions come up, and it's like a good hour and a half later I go downstairs, and it's like, do I want cold coffee or should I put Chef Mike to work? And so into the microwave it went, and it's like, I don't know, cooked coffee that because I left the burner on, or microwaved coffee. Which one's worse? They were both pretty bad. But if you turn the burner back on, that burner's meant to retain the heat, not heat it back up from cold. Right. That's probably going to take like another, half hour to probably take longer to warm that up than the initial brewing time.
So
well, and actually, what happens is that the spouse says, "Oh, my spouse is going to be home in an hour, so I'll turn the switch back on."
Well, I'm the only one that drinks coffee in the house. Kristen drinks.
Oh, and the spouse does that. Sort of flips the switch. doesn't drink coffee either.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
so
Do something for your spouse.
Kristen drinks tea, but she's got her own single serving machine in her
Machine
room.
for tea?
Well, actually, it's a single serving coffee machine, but you can put tea into the basket.
Yeah. Actually,
and-
Keurig has tea.
and
cups.
it brews a nice and she always keeps
tea for your K cups.
and you know Kristen, bless her, whenever the cats do something, she encourages it, and it's not anything bad, but it's just funny and cute. Because one day, she's got the single serve coffee machine filled with water, so that the next morning she can easily brew a cup of tea without having to take it downstairs and fill it. And the cat uses it as a water bowl. So now she has to keep it filled to be a water bowl for the cat and to brew her tea. So
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
There you
my.
go. it waters the cat,
Multi-purpose.
it makes tea.
Right.
A multi-purpose coffee machine that doesn't make coffee. So you gotta love that. Well, and I know I could probably get something cheaper than $200, but it's like, if I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna spend a little bit more, I may as well do it right to start with. And $200 ain't gonna break the bank. I'm
Well,
just, I
would
want to
take
get your
that.
opinion.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a good drip coffee, especially with decent heat that doesn't burn your coffee, it's good. I love my Cuisinart. It's great. It works well. It doesn't burn my coffee. It tastes delicious. The one that James Hoffman recommended, I would do a little Googling on that brand and look at some YouTube links and see what people think besides just him.
Okay.
Or you know what you do is you check out different restaurants.
Holy crap!
A
What is
fast food
that?
place doesn't count. And check out what coffee machines they use, particularly
It's
if
the
you like
most
their
annoying
coffee.
noise in the world.
Is that your place, Morris?
Yes, it is. Just a second. Let me see what my device is. I'm sorry.
Wow.
One of these days, these devices will speak in a language you can understand.
This is interesting. What device is making this sound?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't recognize that tone.
That's not a smoke detector.
That's done.
What was,
I don't know what the heck.
what was
So
that?
what you do, Mars.
He's still coming back. He's like at the head. Is he back?
He needs to yell at his machine. Don't take that tone with me.
And Mod Pro's in the house. Sup, Mod Pro?
Hey.
Hey. Hi. So what was that?
That apparently was FaceTime on my iPod.
Someone was trying to FaceTime you on your iPod?
Yeah.
Did you pick it up?
No.
Oh, it could have been important.
Yeah, we could have had the
maybe.
person on the show.
Speaking of phones and calls and things like that, we do have Skype up, NHB Live through Skype, or 984-664-2723 for the phone. And we have a show topic this week.
We do. Wait.
We do.
We do. Do the
do.
opposite. Now, I think I've told both of these stories now, but I need to recap both of
there
these
is the
stories
opposite.
because now both of these stories really go hand in hand to the new dilemma at the workplace. And we're not going to name any names because I'm getting tired of making up names because, I think I actually called Steve Seamus today, and I got a funny look from him. I didn't know how to explain that. I just made that up. That did not really happen.
I approve of you calling people Seamus. That's fine.
No, but remember the last story I told, I think it was just last week, was how they made this new announcement that unless there is a system-wide outage, we are not to email the sysadmins about any tech issues, that we are to escalate the tech issues to the two junior system admins, and then if the junior system admins feel it needs to be escalated to the senior system admins, they will escalate it. And once again, that was dressed up as a acknowledgement of the wonderful job the junior sysadmins were doing, whereas me and Seamus looked at this and said, dude, this is just the senior sysadmins saying, leave me the fuck alone. I don't want your stupid little emails. So That was story number 2. Story number 1 happened a few months ago. A few months ago, there was a system outage of one of our systems, and Seamus got the tickets relating to that, confirmed it was out, and so he forwarded the tickets to the sysadmin group, and he sent an email to the sysadmin email group, and none of the sysadmins saw the email until like a half hour later. So the top senior sysadmin was a little miffed that they didn't see this, and it's like, and so of course the first line of defense is, well, who can I blame this on? Were we properly notified? I don't think we were properly notified if we didn't know about it. And it's like, dude, we forwarded the ticket to your queue. We sent an email to your group. And so and mind you, these are all polite conversations. No one's in trouble. No one's yelling at anyone. It's more of a passive aggressive kind of a passing of the buck. But everyone's being nice and polite. It's just, and so please don't take this as me shitting on this my job. I love my job. I this is a great place. Anyways, so the top senior guy basically said, well, no one called the pager to alert the on-call sysadmin that there was a system outage. Whenever there, well, there's not really a there's a pager, and there's a phone number that you can call, and there's a button you push when you get that voicemail that basically forwards it to the paging system, and the sysadmins take turns being on call. So that way there's always one of the sysadmins that is kind of responsible for any after-hour system outages. And so after this happened and no one saw it in the sysadmin email group for a half hour, he said, well, from now on, if there is a system outage, send the ticket to the sysadmin group, send an email to the sysadmin email group, and call the on-call pager.
That's a lot of work for one. Have one thing that does it all, like do a batch file or something. That's a lot of work.
Well, this gets better. So the next time there was a system outage, we did that. We forwarded the ticket to the sysadmin group. We sent an email to the sysadmin email group. We called the on-call pager and left a voicemail. This system is down, and we just want to make sure you're aware of that. And my good friend Jerry was the on-call sysadmin that day. And I got a message from Jerry saying, you should tell one of the other sysadmins about this. And I'm like...
He's the one with the new baby.
Right. And I'm like, I am following the protocol here. This was emailed to us. This was stated to us that we are to notify the on-call. And he says to me, that's for after hours. The on-call pager is only after hours on call. I'm like, this came down from the guy on top. And he's like, I am not at a computer right now. I am in the middle of the woods fishing. I am not on call until after hours.
Wait. I have a problem with this, Gators. This is my problem.
This is your problem.
His wife just popped, and he's fishing.
No. This was like a month or two ago.
Oh, I was about to say, man, don't be going to fishing after your wife just had a baby. That ain't right.
No, this is
Oh my god. Oh my god. Why aren't you bringing a laptop on your fishing trip? You should be ready. There's a reason you're on call. You make the big bucks. You carry. Oh no. So
now I find out that the sysadmins are in disagreement as to what the on-call pager is for. Meanwhile, the one guy covers their ass by going, "We missed this email by a half hour." Oh, well, we'll just say what we really want you to do is page us. Now we page them, and the guy that's on call is like, I'm not on call till after hours. I'm off today. It's like, okay, all right, you guys need to figure out that. I did my part.
You did your part, then you wave your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care, sir.
So here's today's dilemma. We have two procedures. If there is a system outage, we are to contact the sysadmins by any means necessary, including the on-call pager. If there is not a system outage, we are to leave the sysadmins the fuck alone and only notify the junior sysadmins. So we got two opposite procedures. Well, today, we ran into a situation where the network slowed down noticeably.
Okay, who's torrenting? That's
was-
how it is in my college. Who's
So-
torrenting?
So on the one hand, this was a situation that severely impacted the entire company. On the other hand, it was not a complete system outage. So it left me and Seamus arguing over whether or not we're to leave the sysadmins alone or alert the sysadmins through every means necessary.
I would laugh to Seamus and like, yo, I have a question. The network's not dead. It's kind of working. Should we kind of let him know, or what? I mean, I wouldn't argue. I kind of laugh over this situation. Like, dude, what do we do? What do we do? Come on.
I mean, this is my life now. On the one hand, it's like, call us, tell us. You need to tell us and call us. And on the other hand, it's like, leave us alone. Don't tell us. Don't call us. So, and it's fine if it's a clear case of this is not important. This is a system outage. But now you got this like middle area. Is it a system outage or is it not? And well, the thing is 15 minutes later, it kind of fixed itself. So we didn't have to keep arguing about it.
Oh, well, that's no fun. I say
So-
when the network is slow, Gators, look at Amarith on another screen. There you go.
There you go.
you
So yeah, that was so that's the. Of course, now I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to be like, hey, I got to go to my boss. I'm going to go look at. We had the situation where it was nothing, but it could have been something, and Seamus and I weren't sure which protocol to follow. The alert everyone or don't alert everyone. I think if they're going to be that nitpicky over dictating how we communicate with them or don't communicate with them, we need them to also clearly define when we follow one procedure or when we follow the other, since they are pretty opposite procedures. So once again, I have found a way to one-up this game of passive aggressiveness between me and these wonderful coworkers that I get along great with, but sometimes they annoy me.
Oh, I'm following both procedures.
There's no way you can follow both. You have to pick which one.
You know what? This is what you do, Gators. You sit there and you just send an email out to the entire company. Everybody in the company. Okay, someone in here is a sysadmin. I know this. I don't know who to message. Everybody's getting this. So if you're not the person that it retains to, just ignore it.
You know what I should do? I should just call Jerry. Because every time he complains to me, he always ends it by saying, but if you need any help, just give me a call. Every time.
I wonder
Every
where he is
conversation
today.
with
Where's
him.
he at?
But if you need anything, give me a call. I can't deal with that page. I'm not anywhere near a computer, but if you need anything, just give me a call.
Give me a call.
Right.
Give me a call. It's fine. I don't care where you are. I'm calling you.
But it's all seriousness. I love these guys. They're great guys to work with. I mean, there is a little bit of this annoying pecking order protocol stuff, but it's not by any means dysfunctional. It's not by any means what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, like, I've worked in environments where it's pretty bad, us versus them when it comes to help desk sysadmins. It's nothing like that here. Now, Dune wants to know if I tried to ping anything. Well, I mean, I was testing different things, and I found basically I was trying to open up a PowerPoint presentation because I had a new hire today that I was going to go over with the, this is how you change your password. This is how you set up your Outlook. This is how to get to ServiceNow to open up a ticket.
You have a PowerPoint?
Yeah, I have PowerPoint slides with it. I do.
That's fancy.
I mean, I mean, every other Monday at least we have a new employee, and I'm going over the same thing. So having a slide deck of these things, we go over the slides, and then I email the slides to them.
Do you have
Yeah.
fancy transitions on it where it goes?
No. Usually I'm exiting the slides and bringing up a window to show them. Here's how you set here's how you book a conference room if we ever get back into the office, and then I switch over to Outlook and actually do it. Here's how to use ServiceNow, then I switch over to Chrome, open up ServiceNow, and show them how to open a ticket. But the slide deck also explains it all with bullet points and everything.
Wow, you got bullet points and everything.
Yeah,
Wait,
you know what
the word slide in from the side. Do you use a fancy animation?
No, I didn't do any of that. But actually, I was very responsible for the slide deck at the job at Enternock, And so on my way out the door, I copied a set of that slide deck to my one of my thumb drives, and I basically brought up that slide deck and rebranded it for this job.
You did. It wasn't specifically for them. You used your material.
So
Yeah.
you did a search and destroy in the word Internock.
Yeah. Well, I only copied a few slides because there were some slides that have nothing to do with this company. But yeah, I migrated some of the slides over and built a new slide deck based on that. But when I went to open up my slide deck, it wouldn't open up because it was taking so long to down. It was in my user folder, which it was accessing over the VPN, and it was just cranking away trying to open it to the point that I'm like stalling for time with this new person, trying to not look like an idiot in front of them, because I hate being the help desk guy that is like, my computer's not working. Every time I call the help desk, I get a busy signal. That guy never picks up the phone. Yeah, that's funny once or twice, but I'm kind of done with that joke. So I actually had to go to my sent items.
For you.
So I actually had to go to my sent items in my email and pull up the email of the last person I sent the slide deck to and open up the attachment.
That works.
It was that bad.
Something like that you use all the time. You should keep a copy on a jump drive or something with you.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I mean, and I might have a copy somewhere on my C drive. Or then again, I've gone through a few computers at this point on this job. So, but when I'm doing that, my thought to myself is this a system-wide problem or is this just my problem? So I'm keeping an eye on the help desk while thinking well, I might have to reset my router after I get off the call. And sure enough, over the course of this call with my slides, 3 tickets come in about the network being slow, and Seamus noticed it's slow too and gets the tickets. So between me, Seamus, and the 3 tickets, that was 5 confirmed occurrences of this network slowdown, and that's why we're at the point where we're like, it's not an outage, and but like,
Did you call it Jebediah or whatever his name is?
no, we didn't call Jebediah.
Jerry, same
We
thing.
didn't call Jebediah. Now, Dune saying I have never said that. I don't know what he's referring to. Did I say Dune said something, or did I say something that Dune never says?
Oh.
I don't know what Dune is referring to. Dune needs to call in so that I can answer his comments real time.
That's
Or-
right.
But today's his day off. He worked yesterday and the day before yesterday.
He
That
gets the
is-
day off.
his day
Monday
off.
is his day off, I guess.
Yeah, because
Okay.
he's in the chat.
Yeah, but
he's
last
probably
week he was
watching
working, wasn't he?
someone- He's probably doing some Twitch vines, I bet.
Wasn't he working last week?
He worked
Now-
Monday. He did an extra last Monday.
Now, Dune asks a good question. Do you have a dedicated speed test on your servers? Yes, we do. No one ever uses it, though. And Jerry tells me all the reasons why that's not a good test. Because, mind you, I've had times where I have an employee who was working from home who had all these speed problems, and I ever run the speed test. And Jerry comes back, and the speed test sends the results to all the sysadmins. So then the sysadmins start emailing like, hey, who's asking for this speed test? And I'm like, I'm good. I've got it. So, but I don't know. In fact, I mean, every time I try to have someone use a speed test, and it gives some information, basically, here's the one thing I can tell you from a speed test. Well, you got a speed problem. That's about the best thing I can tell someone from a speed
Right.
test. I mean, that's
right. Yeah. You indicate a problem that you already knew about.
right. I mean, the only thing I can really do is give them a number to point to go call their ISP with. So I rarely do that anymore. Usually, to be honest with you, 80% of the time the problem goes away when I say, well, at your convenience, turn all your home network equipment off and back on, and while that's coming back up, reboot your laptop, and let me know if you still have problems after that. And then a week later, I have no update on the ticket, and I close it out. the only time I actually get to the point of speed test was the CEO had a lot of problems with his home network, and he legit had some problems with his ISP, and so there were some speed tests run there. But once again, they didn't really tell us anything useful except that, well, you have speed problems.
Yeah, your net sucks, man. CEO, get some money. Get some dollar. Get yourself some fiber. Come on, you're CEO. You got dollar. You can do it.
Dude's writing in, dude, they are there to serve you, not the other way around. I don't know what you're talking about. No one's here to serve anyone.
What?
Anyways, I didn't mean to go into all that. I just thought today it just struck me as like, oh yeah, these two processes that they've spelled out to us are completely the opposite. Funny how that works.
So you really haven't even resolved the whole thing. So if something happens,
Right. Basically, if it's
push
really
all
important,
buttons.
if it's really important, they want us to reach out to them and tell them everything and scream and holler. If it's not really important, they want us to leave them the fuck alone. But it's up to us to figure out the difference.
Just email everyone. Go, yo, junior, yo, regular.
It's like, yes, because every time I ever emailed the sysadmin email group, it was because I thought to myself before, well, gee, this isn't all that important.
I would have done that. I probably would.
I mean, to me, it almost could be taken as an insult to my intelligence that, like, what they're saying is they don't think that I really am a good judge of what's important or not.
I would email them and say, should I get hamburger on my pizza or linguiça? Which one? I mean, I know the answer. The answer is linguiça, but I do that to the sysadmin group and
Hamburger.
Maybe from now on I should leave voicemails on the emergency pager voicemail box in the style of my Walmart pages. Cool! Any available system admin, please check out the system outage that is happening at this time. Any available sysadmin, please check out that outage.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yes.
No. I've evolved beyond that level of immaturity. It was a Walmart job. You had to be a little immature about it.
They need like cowbells or something they can ring over there. Come on.
Well, like I said, the only reason I ever paged I will only page that obnoxiously at the Walmart if I was making my third or fourth fucking page at a cash register that was being held up and the customer's waiting there on some member of management. So it's like, dude, get your happy little ass over here. We got a customer that needs to get on through the line so I can serve the next one. Well.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of funny that retail hasn't really figured out that problem of the guy that's holding up the line for some manager that's not coming, right?
Well,
it's not just Walmart. It's Target. It's the supermarket.
I'll tell you who's figured out the line problems the best, at least system-wide, and that would be Fry's.
Oh, they just closed.
Because it was
horrible.
Come on, man.
That's like talking about the dead.
But
come on, that's not right.
It's one line for 40 registers. If 3 of the registers get clogged up, they're not clogging up 3 lines because, I mean, as someone that has standed on many lines that ended up being the slow line as you watch every surrounding line just move right along, I gotta tell you, I respect the Fry's one long line, 40 registers in a row, and they just call the next person over there. That way, it's fair. It's one line. You don't get stuck on the stuck line.
Here's the thing, though. You're standing there waiting for the next register open. Yeah, they have 40 registers, but there's nobody at most of the registers.
I didn't say it was a perfect.
If you're lucky, if you're lucky, there's one other register that's open.
No matter what the system is, there's also the question of manpower. But at least that is a system that fully supplied with enough manpower at least alleviates the stuck line issue. Because I mean,
I didn't go into the Fry's right at the very end, but I suspect you'd go into that line and you find out he's the only guy that's working in the entire building.
you know what my you know what really
30,000 square feet or whatever the hell it is.
well, you know what really grinded my gears? GameStop. Because
Oh yeah.
GameStop had, one counter with 2 or 3 registers. And, mind you go into a Walmart and the registers are there for one thing and one thing only. Buying your shit and getting the fuck out. They got the returns counter for everything else. And let me tell you, there have been times where I walk into a Walmart and I see the line at the returns counter and I see the $20 of merchandise in my hand. And I think to myself, it is not worth $20 to wait on that line. And I literally just drop the bag at the floor with the receipt in the bag and just walk out the door. Free merchandise for someone else to pick up. I don't want this.
Or you know, do better. Is you take the thing, you see some homeless person at the street corner, and you give it to him.
Well,
it's like, look, you can get this, you can return this, and you can keep the money.
I guess I could have done that because my first response is going to be, I don't know what a homeless dude wants to do with wood shavings for a guinea pig. But you're right. With the receipt, they could return it for the $20.
Right.
Were they not shavy enough?
Well, it was the wrong type of wood that's not good for guinea pigs.
Oh, it's probably rabbit.
Yeah. So,
I'm going to tell you,
What kind of wood is
Fry's
that
was
good
awesome
for,
though.
guinea pigs?
I'll tell you the great thing about Fry's line to get for the cash register. They had so much crap in those lines. I was always busy.
all
looking
those
at
different
stuff.
candy bars. Yeah.
You know how much
Candy
crap I
bars
bought.
and
You know how many
goodies.
I used to buy big giant bags of beef jerky just sitting there. I go to the other side. Other side, they'd have like different candy bars from different countries, the Toblerones, and dude, I would buy hella crap in that one. I'd get a soda. I'd go over there buy a flashlight. You know what? I bought crap that I don't think I've even opened yet.
Oh,
And that was
wait.
like 5 years old. I was 5 years ago. I'm like, dude,
Mars.
What?
Really sad. Toblerones is one of the items that's stuck in one of those container ship that's off the coast waiting to be unloaded.
Oh, the Toblerones?
Yeah.
What size? The little bitty ones or like the 4 foot high
I
ones?
think I suspect all.
Oh, the 4 foot high ones are great. You give that to a person, they'll be your best friend forever.
One of the few good things I got from my friendship with Emily was a recipe for a Toblerone cheesecake. So,
Yeah. How's that going now, Gators? Are you allowed to do that?
Toblerone cheesecake,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, Toblerone cheesecake.
I could do that. I
Are-
don't.
Is that part of your thingy?
What thingy?
Your
Oh, I can't eat it.
Oh, okay.
I'm still flatlining at 253.
Well, Gators, as I told Dude the other day, just remember, when you go to you could go to a barbecue and have a 48-ounce steak, no carbs.
I could do that. I'm
Yes.
actually getting a little bored of steak, though. I could
What about
go
tri-tip? Do you get tri-tip there?
there we go. That's
Dude, I don't think you get tri-tip anywhere but California. Well, you do. It's
but
just called something.
but I tell you, all this self torture is getting me this flat line. Once again, flatter than the state of Kansas. That is my weight for the past
Maybe
3
you need to
weeks.
eat more fiber so you can
of-
poop it out.
There's not been any problem there. I've been pooping plenty. But
3 times a day is
Mod Pro is eating cheesecake, and now both Dune and myself are going to go beat up on Mod Pro.
I have no cheesecake, but there's a Nation's right down the street, so I can click a button or two and it'll be here.
Anyways, so hopefully Dune swears that it just takes longer to kickstart, but once it starts, it'll fall down steeply again. So
Gators, you just need to run up to your attic and down to the basement many times a day.
I'm giving this to. Here's the thing: is that I am indulging at Thanksgiving. I'm making desserts for Thanksgiving. So hopefully I can get enough of a kickstart here that there's some difference by the time Thanksgiving comes around, and but I'll go back on it after Thanksgiving. But I am pigging out on Thanksgiving. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
So, anyways, but what I was getting at with what grinds my gears, mind you, Dune thinks it's funny to hear a dude that don't do stick say grind gears. But what grinds I'm just Family Guy, Peter Griffin. You know what really grinds my gears? like I said,
If you say so.
the Walmart has the returns line, and as much as I complained about it, it serves its purpose because the slow line for the annoying shit is over here away from the normal registers. So if all you want to do is go in there and buy stuff, you don't have to deal with that bullshit. You only have to deal with that bullshit if you're going to be a part of that bullshit, which I've decided to not be a part of that bullshit and not return my shit. Yeah,
Well, at least not the day after Christmas.
I'll deal with my happy little mistake like a man and eat that $20.
Fry's go back line was notorious. It was always long. The
Yeah.
worst one was the day right after Christmas
Yeah.
and the day after Black Friday. Those were the last two, the big. Oh,
You-
and
from-
the day after the Super Bowl. Those were the worst times to go back.
Don't even try returning something between Christmas and New Year's at a Walmart. Just
Yeah.
although sometimes Walmarts would start the policy of you can do a return from any register, and I'm like, that's a horrible idea. You're gonna clog up every damn register with this shit. And that was my point about what really grinded my gears about GameStop is that GameStop did every transaction from all those registers at that counter. So if you come in there on a Saturday,
But not only that, they're helping customers with some kind of a problem that has nothing to do with,
right?
hey, here's my freaking money, man.
Customer service, purchases, returns, buying stuff, and customer service was all handled from the same counter. So if you have some idiot that is, that doesn't ring up at the right price, and you got some other idiot that's like, dude, I need 50 cents for each of these games so I can get $3 off the new Pokemon game. You're going to be waiting there for 20 minutes for either of those lines to move up to the next person, and God knows what the next person is on either of those lines. Saturday at a GameStop, you could not get any help.
This is the exact thing why retail is just not happening anymore.
And the other part with the
Radio
GameStop
Shack is gone because they would take returns on something that they know that you just used until they found a cheaper one. Like, oh, I need a charger for my iPhone. They buy one, they charge up their phone, they find, oh, Amazon's got one a lot cheaper. Then they return the one they used.
Oof.
That's
why you need to make the returns counter annoying, and the purchase counter easy.
Can you just buy everything on Amazon and then if you don't need it, just send it back?
Well, you could do that.
Well, but the thing is, they went to Radio Shack because I need my phone charged right now.
So they basically rented a charge cable for free.
For free, yes.
They put down a deposit and got their deposit back. And now Radio Shack's got to use cable they can't sell.
All kinds of things that people return. And then, I can't sell that as new for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I'm not even going to get into how the world of online retail impacted stores, but then you remember when it was a news story where there were clothing stores that would start charging you a deposit to try on clothes to counter people? Well,
dude, that's crazy.
It is crazy. It is absolutely. Well, what they would do is
they would charge if you went to the changing room to try on clothes, you got charged for that?
Yes. Wow. And they would put that towards a purchase if you purchased the clothes. But if you walked in, tried on clothes, and didn't like anything that you tried on and you left, they kept that money. Now, I don't know.
So actually, I met a woman at a store, years after high school. I knew this woman in high school. She had this whole arm full of clothes that she was buying.
Okay.
And what she would do, she would buy all this clothes, take it home, try it all on, and then return what she didn't want to keep.
So
that's the way to do it.
So I have a question. Did they just charge you to go into the changing room?
Well, basically,
because what's to stop people from changing in the middle of the aisle?
I don't know how it worked.
I'd be like, oh yeah, you're gonna charge me? I'm just gonna change my shirt here.
Well, the worst is when someone gets confused between a changing room and a bathroom, but that's a whole other story. But the reasoning behind this was
that's the purpose of that sign that says no
No clothes in the
No
bathroom.
merchandise in the
If they're letting
beyond
you
the
bring the
door.
merchandise in there, it ain't a bathroom. Don't find a place to shit in there. But anyways,
Of course, the other reason for
The-
that is, they catch the guy going out, and the guy's got 30 pairs of underwear on.
now the
I
thing
do
is,
with 30 pairs of underwear
but the
on.
reason they were charging money to try on clothes was apparently they noticed that sales were going down, and what they felt people were doing, and very well may have been happening, was that people would buy clothes online, but they also wanted to try it on before they'd buy it. So they'd go to a store, find the same clothes, try it on, decide what they want to purchase, and then leave the store and order the clothes cheaper online. And so basically the store was just a free, fitting room.
Mm-hmm.
And so the store was suggesting, hey, if you want to do that, that's fine, but you got to at least give us something. Yeah, but then, the flip side of that is, what if someone just really wants to try on clothes and doesn't like anything they try on that day?
So-
And then they got to pay for that?
There was kind of the same kind of racket at the colleges at one point. When online shopping was just for books like Amazon were just starting, and the bookstores were starting to do their stuff, where you could buy like your ISBN numbers and buy it online. What a lot of instructors would do, they would put what books you want, what they want you to buy on their syllabus, but they wouldn't put the ISBN on there. So you had to go into the bookstore to go buy your book. Well, like my bosses are like, screw that. We're putting the ISBN. We don't care where you buy it. Our deal was with the book companies, but they don't have to buy it here. We didn't say they had to. So they would
Right.
buy it because what the bookstores do, they mark it up like 40%. 40% on the books.
Oh,
for the
yeah.
prices.
No, the
yeah. So like
bookstores
your
ridiculous.
$40 book is $115, and so they would just give you ISBN. The book companies would hate this, but that was part of it. They were all mad about that. But a lot of instructors would say, "Oh, well, it was a deal with the book company that we didn't put the ISBN on." So what I used to do when I was taking classes, I go to the bookstore, and copy down the ISBN number. I got caught when they looked at me like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm writing down the ISBN number for the book so I can buy it online." And they looked
There's
at me
nothing
like,
wrong with that.
Yeah, and I told this to one of the people working there. They're like, "Oh, you can't do that." I'm like,
I just
"Yeah,
did.
I can.
Stop
I
me.
just did, and you're not going to stop me because that's what I'm going to do." They're like, "Well, we just lost the sale." I'm like,
Yep,
shit.
you did.
"Well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to pay $100 for this book when I can buy it on Amazon for $35."
Nothing personal. It's
Nothing
just
personal
business.
for you, and nothing personal, but I have no money, and I'm a cheap bastard. I'm a college student. I got no money for this stuff.
Why should
And-
I give you my money for free?
And the lady that was like, she goes, "Well, we don't want you doing this." I understand. She wasn't saying, if I was a student, I wouldn't do that. When she said, "I understood,"
I
she
understand.
understood.
I'm going to
Yes.
do it anyways.
Yeah, she goes, "I understand, but please don't do that." And I'm like, "Well,
I've considered
I-
your request and I've denied it.
yeah."
like,
Pretty
okay,
much,
you
I
got-
go, "Thank
you
you
got-
very much," and I left.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
credit for telling me I can't do that. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Well-
I gave it to her
Okay,
because
so
all
here's-
she is, Brian, all she is
Yeah.
working there, and they get the bookstore gets their money for the companies putting the books in the stores. So she was just doing quote unquote her job. She understood
absolutely,
why I was
yeah.
doing, and I didn't blame her for that. She understood why I was doing it, but she was
Well, it's-
discouraging it just because if everybody did that,
Well,
now and then the smart thing was 7 years later the bookstore went online.
It's like
So
there's nothing wrong with walking into a store and writing down the prices on things.
Yeah.
But if employees of the store see you walking around the store with a notepad writing down the prices of everything, they're probably going to ask you to leave politely.
well, no, and they can't because remember Amazon also has in their app they have the little scanner app, and
Yes.
you open it up and you go,
well, that's
okay, this price is here, and on Amazon it's there. Guess what? I just bought it.
And
I'm
that's-
leaving now.
and that they probably won't ask you to leave for. But if someone's in there with a notepad writing down prices of everything, that's a comp shopper from a competitor. They're going to ask you to leave.
Will they really? That's funny. That's funny.
I remember I actually
Now,
it-
but now, how many bookstores are out there? Right.
There's that a lot of colleges still have bookstores, but they're usually
the colleges
owned.
do. The
Yeah,
college
You're not going to
bookstore.
go
Yeah,
to another
yeah.
college for a bookstore because they're also going to have a rip-off price anyway.
Well, and the college bookstores are mostly selling their stuff for the college. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, so-
shirts and other crap. and
but they're highly
binders
marked
and-
up there versus
Oh,
buying them
yeah.
online.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
but
buy
it's-
books online.
But you know what? For like notepads and paper and Scantrons and everything else, it's just convenient buying it at the bookstore there because it's like, oh crap, I need like 5 Scantrons now. You run to the bookstore, you come back. Or I need a pencil,
Right.
run to the bookstore and come back. It's just convenience. Now the books and stuff, and the thing is, our bookstore. The last time I checked, our bookstore was owned by a general online company now. So a lot
They've
of the
outsourced that.
Yeah, they've outsourced it.
Wow.
So it's and the thing is, the workers that are working there are still getting the money, and the book companies are still doing the same business they're doing. It's just the college itself doesn't get. I think they get a kick down. I'm not sure how that works, but it just saves money all around. But
Well, I
that's
remember-
just how that
So
goes.
here's a really strange variation. Okay,
Okay.
my sister-in-law teaches English as a second language. It's a non-credit course at a community college. They came up with a rule, and she's been doing her class online. She's been fighting that, but she's got used to it. In fact, they're trying to push classes back into the classroom. She says, "No, I'll just continue doing this online." Now that she's into it, right?
Yeah, and she
she's
has all
actually
her
got
materials up and
students.
everything else. Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
And she has students that are willing to go with it, and they're liking it,
Yeah.
right? The college decided that if you're taking this class in the classroom, the book is free. But if you're taking the class online, you have to go and pay for it.
Huh.
Well,
Interesting.
so she did actually fight for the students and says this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
This is a stupid college rule. Oh,
Yeah.
let's see, Mars. You've dealt with the community college.
Oh yeah.
How often do you see stupid college rules?
Well, I was there for 20 years. Yeah, about 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's about right.
And how many stupid rules have you seen?
About
right?
20 years worth.
Yeah, right. Whatever number that comes up to, exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of stupid rules.
But anyway, so
And-
they
and
did finally cave in.
They,
And said,
they what
"Oh,
the thing
okay,
is what the college does, they sit there and see how something works for a year or two, and then they'll be like, okay, and then they'll do a vote in the Senate, and then they'll say, okay, that's kind of a stupid rule, so they get rid of it, and then they replace it with another rule that's still kind of stupid, not quite as stupid, but stupid, and then they go,
right.
well, that didn't work, and then they change that back, and it's politics.
So,
It's all
she's
politics.
she's
Yeah.
been with them for 25 years.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And she sees the same stupid rules come back again.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
they will. Yeah, as
Well-
new Senate members go
Like,
through,
wait a
as
minute,
new
we
things go
did
through.
this.
Yeah.
We did this 20 years ago.
Well, Five at Dune writes in, and they do revisions every year and only change the quiz sheets in them so you cannot buy used ones.
Yep.
And I've got a story about that because I got two stories. One is I went to the bookstore at my college every year and bought the books. Buying books online was not as popular a thing for school books or textbooks, or I didn't have but usually they would let you sell your books back and they would sell used copies for cheaper. So I always tried to find used copies
Oh
of
yeah, a
everything.
lot of people do that. Yeah.
and so 1 year and,
That's all. You never know. You get that
and-
book that says it was owned by
and
the Half-Blood Prince.
And if the bookstore if the college bookstore is selling a used copy, it must still be good enough for the class. So 1 year I took anthropology for a semester, and I bought the book, and then he assigns reading some chapters, and my book had been revised the previous year. It had the same cover, all the pages were the same up to this point, but halfway through the semester, there was a chapter that was completely missing from my book that they had just added in the new submit. And it wasn't like it was a similar chapter or they revised it. No, it was an entire new fucking chapter. They invented a new chapter of anthropology the year I took it, apparently. And so I had to scramble to, I forget what I did. I think I might have borrowed a friend's book, got some photocopies or something. But it was like, what the fuck is this? The
Yeah.
bookstore sold me this fucking book, and it's different.
Actually,
And then-
I had an anthropology teacher that had this other trick. He says, "Oh, you're responsible for everything in this book, except for the footnote on page 127." So everybody flips to page 127 and looks at it and kind of go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And that was the only thing you remember is the footnote of 127,
Exactly.
which is the one thing you didn't need to know.
That was a horrible class.
Yeah, I did not enjoy that class at all. And anyways, the other book.
I totally enjoyed the class. It's
Yeah.
just that it was
No,
a horrible
I
one
didn't.
anyway.
I didn't.
In
But-
fact, I had a friend that was in the class. Or
Yeah.
we became friends in that class. It was just, do you think that when he leaves the class at the end, that it goes off someplace to vomit? That's how much
Probably.
energy he was putting into it.
That probably. Now, my other story is, as part of college, I was required to take 2 athletic or gym or activity related
I did that too.
classes. Now, as a member of the marching band, a semester of marching band counted as one of my gym classes, but you could only count that once. So the second,
What?
yeah, they wouldn't. You could not repeat marching band and count that as a second gym semester. Yeah, you had to do something different from marching band for your second gym semester. So even though I did marching band a second year, because I also had to be in at least one band or music ensemble every semester, and so the first 2 years I did marching band the first semester, concert band the second semester, because there was no concert band the first semester, and I got fed up with that. So junior and senior year I joined the orchestra because they did both semesters, and I continued to do concert band second semester. So I was doubled up in my ensembles junior senior year, but they were
Was
those
this
are all.
high school or college?
This is college.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
so I had to come up with a second, college gym class to take, and there was limited options. And when I went over them, a lot of them are sports related. I'm not interested in sports, and so it kind of came down to 2 things.
Except
Bolt-
for the Yankees.
Except for that was not by choice. I was born a Yankees fan. You're just born into
I know.
that.
I know. It's tattooed on your ass, right?
Well, I'm not going to drop Trout
Wow,
and prove or
Gator's got a
disprove
tramp
that.
stamp of the Ga-
but,
of the
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yankees.
no. And if you say it, I would believe it.
I
Why not, right?
well, no, it was my 16th birthday, and it was a family tradition, and
Gators, you got a tramp stamp of the Yankees?
no, my grandfather gave me a silver dollar. I don't know how.
Okay.
Silver dollar of the Yankees?
No, it's just that was the best I could come up with to transition out of there. I do not have a tramp stamp of the Yankees. It is square on the ass, not above the ass.
I'm hoping that my friend. I'm hoping that my friend Henry is listening.
I got an N on
Should
one
partake
cheek, a
in
Y
maybe-
on the other cheek, and
Oh man.
This friend of
Sorry
mine
to hear
is a Red Sox fan.
yeah,
Well, because we were all from Connecticut, and you
Right.
would either be
one half of Connecticut's Yankees, the other
Absolutely.
half is
You
Red
got
Sox,
it.
and then they
You
meet
got
in the
it.
middle and duke it out. But
yeah, we're
so-
yeah.
So I had 2 choices for my gym class, and I chose poorly because my 2 choices were bowling or step aerobics.
Ooh, bowling. I
Step
love bowling.
aerobics.
Well,
Ooh.
here's the thing.
Which did you pick? Which did you pick?
Well, if you chose bowling, you had to pay for the games at the bowling alley every week.
Oh, that's
You're
fine, they're
shitting
cheap.
me.
They're cheap,
So,
cheap, it's
I-
fine.
They
So-
offered bowling and they didn't have their own bowling alley. God damn it!
No, they met at the local bowling alley, and Gothard took bowling,
I
and
like
I decided to save my money to buy more quad albums, and I took step
There you
aerobics for
go.
a semester, and every
There you
week.
go.
While I was doing my step aerobics, I wasn't thinking to myself about the money I saved. I was thinking to myself about how I could have been bowling right now. That was that
my
was-
God, could I go
but-
bowling instead?
But step aerobics required a book. I had to buy a book for
Step.
A book.
Just follow what everybody else is doing. It's fine.
And this was a book that I read not a single page from. The only thing that the class required us to buy this book, and the only thing we did out of the book was there was one page where you filled in your weight, your height, and all that stuff. That way you could compare how you started and how you end it. And of course, I gained weight that semester doing my step aerobics. So
Yeah, you get
Gators.
done with your step aerobics and go
This
to
is
the
the important
local pub and get some
No.
beer.
thing. This is
and
important,
pizza.
Gators.
yes,
Gators.
yes,
My question is,
yes.
I was gonna say, did you take step aerobics the same way a lot of high schoolers took home economics just for the girls?
I did, I it's no secret I remained a virgin all 4 years of college.
Gators!
There's no mystery in that, being that this has been well established to anyone who's been a longtime listener
Well,
of the
I didn't
show.
say you had to hit on them. It's just it's
Wait a
more eye
minute,
candy.
Johnny, you had never mentioned it on this
Ga-
show.
Gators. I didn't say go after them. I said at least you had eye candy.
There you go.
Would you rather watch people fondling balls or the girls doing step aerobics?
Oh my!
I'm sure they were very nice girls doing the step aerobics, but like I said, I spent most of my time thinking about how I could be bowling right now.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I'd be doing the same
And the
thing.
latest
But-
squad album that you bought.
But
How
here's
money you saved.
But here's the thing. I bought the workbook used. The one page I needed out of the workbook was already ripped out of the workbook. The teacher knew this and had photocopies of that page made up ahead of time to pass out to all the people that bought the used books from the previous year.
That's fine.
And then, being that this has been well established as a practice, being that not only did I buy the book with the page missing and the teacher knew to hand out the pages, I thought it was perfectly fine to sell the book back. I went and I sold the book back, and the person I tried to sell it back to opened up right to that page where it was missing and pointed and said, "I can't buy this back with a page missing."
Oh shit!
Mind you, I bought a book with every page except the one I needed. The one I needed was handed to me for free, and then I couldn't even sell it back.
You know what you should have done is ask for a second copy just in case you made a mistake and then stick it in
But
the
that
book.
was so. Was that an employee that said he couldn't? They couldn't take it.
That was an employee of the bookstore that knew to check for that page, even though
and what
every
you
year
say-
before, that year was the year they decided to check.
And you look at the person right in the face. You say, "But you sold me this book with the page missing."
I did say something like that, and he said, "Sorry, store policy, I can't buy this back." You know, it's one of those things where it's like, sure, someone may have missed it in the past, but that's not my fault. That doesn't change the rules right now. You know, it's kind of like how when I got billed for the broken drawer because of the poor quality wood they used on it, and when I called back, when I contested the fee, I said, "Look, these drawers always
Just
break."
in the dorm or something.
Yeah, well, they bought new desks for the dorms, and they bought them that the top desk drawer had a cutout to put a keyboard in.
Oh, nice.
And because of this,
Nice. Mine didn't have that. Oh, that's right. We didn't have keyboards. Never
right?
mind.
Yeah, you couldn't fit a typewriter in there. But anyways, the problem with the design was that the wood, because it was just a
How did
cutout
you
for
know
the.
I had a typewriter.
If not you, many students in your dorm probably had their own typewriters.
I did have a typewriter.
So, but the way that the drawer was made is because it was a cutout, there was a raised part on the left and a raised part on the right. So when you closed the drawer, these two nubs on the left and the right would stop up against the lip that would, stop the drawer from pushing in further. And they cut the drawer so that the grain was going across like that. So you push the drawer closed and it's pushing, with the grain. So it's just ready to split. And sure enough, after, a year of opening and closing that drawer with the keyboard in it, eventually one of the sides would break off. And that happened to me every year I went there with one of those drawers. And then my senior year, they decided to charge me $50 for it. And I'm like, $50 for.
So you had no access to wood glue.
Oh, I didn't think they were going to charge me for it because every room I walked in had two of these desks in them in the dorms. And every room I walked in, either one or two of those desks had a little broken nub that was resting in the drawer next to the spot it broke off of.
Yeah.
They all broke. They all broke. This happened to all of them. So
you got singled out for getting charged.
Either that or that was the year they decided to charge them, or they decided to charge all the seniors when it happened. So I was surprised.
It's not like you were going to be able to do anything about it.
So I was surprised when $50 was taken out of my deposit, which was probably like half of my deposit. I think it might have been. And I'm like, I'm getting, money back. I could actually like go buy something, and then I get like half of what I'm expecting. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
That could have been a quad disc.
It could have been. That could have been a Japanese import SACD right there.
Oh man!
And
a Japanese import SACD of vanilla fudge. You want that.
I do, but it wouldn't be in quad.
When I was in college, they weren't doing SACD.
No,
but they were doing quad on vinyl.
Yes.
As God meant it to be.
Wow.
One meant no, Brian. No one meant for 4 channels to fit on a 2-groove record format. Which is why quad was horrible for records.
And that to refute what I just said.
Yeah.
But quad had nothing to do with quad since he gave us 2 ears.
But he gave us 2 ears. He gave us 2 ears with the ability to work together to be able to detect sound in a sphere around us.
I know.
With the element of directionality.
Further strange.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am being that guy that's going, well, actually, let's ruin the joke and talk about science.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they charged me $50 for this desk drawer, and so I appealed it. And I wrote and I said, look it, these drawers were shit. You know it, I know it, we all know it. That's not what I actually wrote in there. I actually wrote something that was well written and
very nice, because
very professionally written, to the effect of
these
these desks have had this problem every year I have been there. All my friends have the same problem. It breaks with the grain by closing it. I have seen about half these desks broken that way. This is not a problem of me abusing the desk. This is an issue with the quality of the desks. And they wrote back and they said, the fact of the matter is that the drawer was broken, and we believe that if it were, not used with excessive force, it should not have broken. And while we may have let this go in the past, that is not the case now. And the fact of the matter is we had to replace the drawer, and the replacement cost $50.
So they really hated your guts, didn't they?
No, they went dollar that year.
Well, about a year later, they sent the letter around looking for donations from the graduates or alumni, and I think I actually took the time to write them a letter back and let them know, well, you already got my $50 donation when you withheld it from my deposit last year. Consider that the only donation you'll see from me.
Dang, Gators. Yeah, I'm sure they charged every single senior that year. I guarantee you.
They probably do. You know what? I gotta tell you though, nostalgia is a very, very strong thing, because now, and this is a sensitive topic, so let's hope that Dune's blood pressure is well rested here, but we're gonna talk about Macs.
Max?
What? Max? The Max?
And I start this just as soon as Dune says, I'm so proud. What? Of my nicely worded letter that got me nowhere and taught me, if you want to get someplace, you got to use the caps. Yeah, that's it. No. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to. I don't always go to the caps. I can be a very nice and polite person and professional and diplomatic.
What would you do if you got a keyboard without a caps lock on it?
But here's the question.
Hey, Mars, do you think Microsoft saw any of the thing Lucky said that was not
Oh, sure. They
just
all looked
yelling
at
at
everything
him?
and said, "We will consider this. We will put this in our book of concerns,
No.
and they will fix it the next time."
No, Mars, let me answer that question.
What?
What would I do if I bought a keyboard without a caps lock?
Yeah.
Well, you see, I would take my roll of Scotch tape here, and I'd peel off a piece of said Scotch tape, and I would use that to tape down the shift button.
Yeah.
Wait!
Yeah.
Watch out! Watch out! You do that, sticky keys might come up.
Yeah.
That there is what I would.
Stupid stick. You know what?
Sticky keys.
Gators. You're okay. On Twitter, I posted. I said, you know what? If I, you know
Yeah,
how
I
many people
remember
I've
that
helped?
tweet.
Yes. You know how many people I've helped with sticky keys because they're like, I don't know. I'm like, dude,
Oh, it's
I hate
great.
it.
You
It's
look like a
great.
magician.
We look like magicians. It's great. Oh my god.
It's fixed.
Yes.
Every time I press an E, an Explorer window comes up. What's it doing? I put F, and it's asking me to find things. And
Great.
Try it now. What did you do? What buttons did you
magic.
push? How did you know that? Sticky keys. Yeah, I know what you watch in your spare time, but how did you do that?
Bleh.
Sticky keys. There's two types of sticky keys. But anyways,
Bleh.
you know, there are two strong factors in my life. One is my nostalgia. You know how nostalgic I get. And the other
And your typewriter.
and the other strong factor in my life is my hatred of all things Apple. These are two very powerful forces in my mind.
So there's hope for Linux yet.
I have a Linux is just
Let me ask you this: Are your vision is to move on to becoming a sysadmin, right?
yeah.
If you look at the number of servers out there that are running Linux, you want to know everything about it.
I want to be a Windows
Percentage of
admin.
servers out there that are running Linux is
Gators
just
must be a Windows
mind-blowing.
admin.
Look at not everyone is suited to be a Linux admin, and there is the need for Windows admins out there.
Yeah. Who's going to make more money? Who's going to make more money?
Am I
Take a
only
guess.
Brian? There's more to life than money. There's also being happy doing the job you're doing. I am happy to learn more about Linux at my own pace, but I'm also happy to keep Windows as my primary area of expertise.
Oh, sure.
Now, Dune wants to know what the deal with sticky keys is. Well, there's a feature in Windows that is mostly to make me and Mars look like magicians. I think it's an accessibility feature
It is an accessibility feature.
for people. Like if you're one-handed, if you
Or you type
hold
with your nose or other appendages.
if you hold down like the control button, and I don't know if the shift button does it,
Nope.
but I know the control button
Shift
does
key
it.
5 times.
Okay, well, but if you hold down the control key, or if you is it 5 times?
Yeah, shift key 5 times.
All right, so I just hit the shift key 5 times, and this window came up on my screen that I'm going to share for Dune's knowledge. See, I only know how to turn it on by accident. I've never turned it on intentionally before. Do you want to turn on sticky keys? Sticky keys lets you use the Shift, Control, Alt, or Window logo keys by pressing one key at a time. The keyboard shortcut to turn on sticky keys is to press the Shift key 5 times. Disable this keyboard shortcut in the ease of access keyboard settings. So I'm going to say no. But the point of that is that you can get your computers in a state where it thinks it acts like the control key is being held down all the time. And then, people are typing, and some letters will just continue typing like they normally would with the control key, but some letters don't. And so then, you get an Explorer window opening for every E you push, you get a search come up for every F that you push, and things like that. and then you get a call with someone that's a little befuddled and not sure how to explain what's happening. But my computer's doing weird things when I type. And you walk over and you see 20 Explorer windows open on their screen, and oh. And I've found that when it's enabled, if I hold down the Alt and then Window and then Control key and lift them up at the same time, that magic combination turns it off. Mm-hmm. And so that's my that's my little 3-finger salute that I do to look like the man. Because you just hold out 3 fingers from one hand and just do a little whoop, and they're gone.
So when a person gets the sticky keys on, how does he not see the pop-up?
Sometimes it depends on it actually depends. In my college, that would not come up. It would just be part of the policy that those messages won't come up.
Well, sometimes the thing is, though, is that the way, from reading that window, the way sticky key is supposed to work is that when you push the control button, it holds it down until you push a shortcut button, and it should only do that for that one and not hold it down again until the next pressing a control. I think it's a glitch or a malfunction that may have, I don't even know if Windows 10 will do it, but sometimes sticky key would glitch in a way that it would just...
Does it too.
Sticky key would glitch in a way that control was always down all the time, no matter what, and there's no useful purpose for that. So I think it's a. I think
that's weird.
I can't explain it. I haven't seen it in a long time. I just know that you can, usually it happens from holding down a key too long, that it somehow gets things in. And you know what it probably is? It probably is you enable sticky keys, and then for every keystroke it registers with the control, it's going to hold it for that many characters. And because someone was holding it you know what? I don't even know. I'm guessing at this point. All I know is how to fix it. Mm-hmm. But I was going to say something.
2 nostalgic things.
Oh, yes. 2 strong factors in my life. How much I'm affected by nostalgia and how much I hate Apple. And sticky keys. Apple. And it's like...
Did Apple invent sticky keys?
No, that one, Microsoft gets all the credit for that one. As much as I would love to blame Apple for that. Anyways, I actually... For some reason, I was watching some videos, and a video came up of someone working on one of the original iMacs with the built-in CRT with the turquoise blue sides, and it made me feel a little nostalgia for the iMacs in the DAW lab at college. And actually, for a brief moment, I started searching eBay for how much it would cost for me to buy one of those iMacs just to have as part of my retro computer collection. Yeah. Well, a few $100, I could get one that might need a little fixing up. And it's like, wow, I'm not sure which factor is stronger here. On the one hand, I'm nostalgic for this. On the other hand, I hate Apple products, and I hated those iMacs at the time as well. And it's like, which one of these is going to win out? My nostalgia factor or my hatred of all things Apple? And that's
why would you be nostalgic for something you absolutely hate?
Because it was one of the greatest times of my life.
You know, I used to love my Apple IIc.
When you used that thing that you hated?
Well, I mean, college in general, and that was a part of my college. You know, even bad things in your life or things that were bad at the time, they're still a part of your history and still a part of you.
I think you've got a case of schizophrenia.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: are
you on your medication?
Wow.
I did inhale some of it this past weekend.
Oh, okay. All right. That explains it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got some medication over here. You know, let's see. This one is a sativa, and this one's an that's my grinder. I also got the edible kind over here.
Yeah. That's for his what, Brian?
That's for his coffee. The grinder.
And this one's an indica.
You know, the funny thing is, I'm the one here that has glaucoma, and I don't do it. So what does that mean, right?
Well,
but Johnny's doing it for you.
Oh, thank you, Gator. Thank you, Gator. I appreciate you living vicariously through my... I have a friend that has glaucoma.
Now I know you've got...
curing
Huh?
vicariously.
Now I know you've got strong feelings or whatever, but if for a medicinal purpose, have you ever been curious or considered that?
Do I need medicinal stuff? Not really.
So you don't.
I want to go to sleep. I just go to sleep.
That
That's
wouldn't
fine.
be. So it wouldn't be beneficial for your glaucoma.
Yeah, it's supposed to help with pressure. I take 3 Aleve and I go to bed.
Oh, okay.
That's about it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
There you go.
Those-
And
Aleve
believe me,
good for
after
that?
this weekend, there was some massive pressures through those storms. Oh my
Ooh.
God. Yeah. Brian, did you
Oh,
get hit
really?
with any floods at all?
Well, I heard that there were some in
Yeah.
my town,
Mhm.
but we purposely bought this house on a hill.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
we were quite aware of the flood potential.
Yeah.
And ironically, within a month of living here, there was a middle school in our area that got flooded out, and they had to replace all the.
Mm.
There are a bunch of let's just call it temporary buildings, basic trailers
Yeah. Portables.
that had
yeah.
air conditioning and
Yeah.
and HVAC, and those
Yeah.
all had to be replaced.
So yeah,
That's
yeah,
because they forgot to clean out the creek so that
oh,
they
yeah.
would have proper drainage.
Yeah.
You know.
Basically, California's not used to rain. It actually hasn't rained for like 2 years, basically, or a year at least.
Yeah.
The last time it rained was not was March? No, before that, way before that, like over a year, almost a year, basically. 171 days or something like that.
Yeah, we didn't get much rain at all last year.
Yeah, our total rain was 6 inches last year. It rained this last weekend. It rained about 4 inches for the Bay Area for me.
Yeah.
Some areas got 7 to 10. There was a lot of flooding. It was kind of fun opening the window, opening the door, and saying, "Hey, look! It looks like North Carolina rain. It's awesome."
So when it rains heavy, like
Yeah.
it did,
Yeah.
so I've got this sidewalk that comes down, gradually slopes toward the door that exits my garage. So if it rains heavy like that, the water pushes through under the door, and I get water in my garage.
Oh, that's not.
So I finally decided I think I'm going to put together a temporary fix to solve this problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Note to self, never do this again. Kitty litter is not a good barrier to water.
No.
No, you want sandbags.
It's not a barrier. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, did your
Yeah.
did your garage clump?
I didn't use that much. It was
Now-
just a little bit sprinkled out the door, but a little
Yeah.
mound maybe.
No, you
Not
want
even
you want,
an
you want
inch
sand.
high.
You want sandbags.
I could get this.
Yeah, sandbags, absolutely. And I
I-
thought of that. It's like, damn, should it?
I could
Although you want to get sandbags when it's not wet.
Yeah. What's up, Gators?
Well, I'm pricing right now, and I could get a Blueberry original iMac. Although this is actually the second model that comes with the nicer mouse. I want the one with the shit mouse. But
Oh.
but I can always buy a shit mouse separately.
Yeah.
But this one is $70, which has been marked down from $200 to $70.
What's wrong with it?
Nothing, but it's $50 shipping from San Diego, so it's $120. It actually, this one actually does turn on. There's a picture of it turned on. A lot of them are for parts and they don't turn on. A lot of them don't have the keyboard. This one's got the keyboard, and it's got the first iMac mouse was that like round puck
It was
thing.
a puck. Yes.
And it was a roller mouse, but then they replaced those shortly after
And
with
you push the whole stupid bottom down. Dude, I hated that mouse with a passion.
well no the round ones with the ball had a button. The normal shaped ones with a laser didn't have a button. The whole thing clicked as a button. So and I didn't have a problem with that. My main problem with it is that, like all Mac mice, it only had one button. When
That's
anyone
when you have a
knows,
command click.
when any idiot knows, a real mouse should have two buttons. You're resting two fingers there.
You click, it's fine.
Why is it such a hard concept for Apple to grasp their minds around? I don't get that.
Gators, I want an Apple IIc to be able to play my lemonade stand. That's what I want.
So should I pull the trigger for
Actually,
120
what I-
bucks to
Go for
get
it,
myself?
man. What I like is a device. In the case that where I was working, it was called a cursor.
Oh.
It had 5
Ooh,
buttons.
I don't know what this. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know what this thing is with all the bent pins though, but I think that's an extra part that
It's
just
an
comes
extra
with it.
part.
It's a cable I think for this disk drive, this external, because this was when Apple made that bold move to remove
floppy.
the floppy drive. It only had a CD. Actually, this one might not even have a DVD drive. This might just be a CD drive. I think because this one's got a drawer on the front, so this isn't even the right mouse for this. Because
Oh,
the ones with the well, I could buy the right mouse for it pretty easily online, but I'm thinking that this is not the mouse that came with this iMac, because the ones with the slot came with the updated mouse. The ones with the drawer still had those really shitty puck mice.
Are you gonna do that to your new Twitch machine?
I don't. Well, that's the other question. If I bought one of these for nostalgia reasons, because I gotta admit they were cute looking, which I thought was a dumb feature of a computer. I mean, at the time, I would never buy a computer for cute factor. That was the last thing I was looking for in a computer.
but you can diss Apple all you want, but they did go for style.
But I will say, as a collectible, being interested in older computers, suddenly the cuteness factor is not working against it. So I don't know. What could I do with it though? What could I really do with this?
I don't know. What do you do with your other
You
nostalgia?
can play Oregon Trail on it.
Oregon Trail. I mean, well, that's the thing. I don't even. I mean, what could Macs do that PCs couldn't of this era? That modern machines can't emulate, or I don't.
Back in the day, what were you using it for?
Well, back in the day, I was using it for like audio editing stuff. Cubase to do a little bit of MIDI stuff
You could use it
and
for
record,
pay-
import
was it
some
page
tracks I
paper?
recorded.
Oh, that's what you want to use it for then.
I don't do any of that stuff now, though.
Then why would you want this again?
Nostalgia. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out.
It has to have a purpose.
I'm trying to. Right. I know that as far as collecting vintage computers go, there is a nostalgia factor inside of me that is driving me to be interested in buying one of these. But I'm trying to figure out what I practically could do with it to even justify the purchase.
Is there a good game emulator for it?
I don't know. You know what? Dune should come up with some things we could do with that. Dune wrote in 70. That works. Let's see. Round with balls. Yes. Come on, Dune. You never saw those really original shitty iMic mice? Dune writing in, they cannot get virus for you. I don't get any viruses on this computer. Let's see if I can find the right mouse for this, because if I were to buy that, let's see, iMac Blueberry mouse, because there it is. That's the mouse right there.
Watch me as much as the computer is.
Oh, it's a
$16.
round hockey puck.
Yes, and see
And
that
you
top.
want that?
Well, I hate it, but that's what goes with it.
I give him a
Well,
week,
but
and he's like,
let me
"Damn it,
ask
haven't
you
you got
another
mouse?"
question. Does the other one work with it?
Yeah, it uses a regular PS2 connection.
This is kind of a package deal, Brian. If you want to have the full package deal as the experience was in the day, it came with that blue keyboard that plugs into a USB port on the side, and the keyboard has the USB ports on the side that you put, depending on what hand you are, one of these shitty mice on. And it's kind of cool that if I bought this one, I would get one of the better mice, and I could have both mice with it. So but like I said,
Wow, okay, so how much is
practically
that?
speaking,
How
it
much
makes
is that one again?
well, this mouse, this particular auction I pulled up, which is the first one I found, is $16 plus $8
Buy it.
shipping.
Buy it.
Well, that's the mouse. The iMac is $70 plus $50 shipping.
Buy it.
$120.
Buy them both.
No, I don't know. Can I really justify this?
Gators, I think you play Leisure Shoot Larry on it.
Can I?
The answer.
Leisure Suit Larry, though, is a like retro Apple type game, like an Apple IIe or something like that would
I
be
don't know,
the
they
right
have it
Apple.
on the Apple Store for Leisure Suit Larry Reloaded.
But is that no? That's more modern. That'll play on modern hardware. Was there a Leisure Suit Larry game in the late '90s, early 2000s that came out in a Mac version that only worked on Mac OS that modern Mac OS is too new for? See, that's getting very specific, but that's what it is. I mean, really what it comes down to is, what is unique to the versions of Mac OS that run on
You've
this
got
machine.
Problem with nostalgia, right?
Yeah, I do.
You can put
So
page mail
why
on
are
it.
you even hesitating? You've got to feed that problem.
Well,
Feed it. Feed it. Feed it.
Brian,
Right, Mars? Feed it.
did anyone ever tell you should never volunteer at a drug rehab clinic?
Wow.
Yeah,
Do it,
I
do
think
it.
they've got
Okay,
way
that's
to-
one less
what
I have
the
to deal
hell?
with.
Do it! Take the heroin! Do it! Inject! Here! Let me help you! Let me tie that off for you! Do it! Do it!
yeah, you got it. You got it. You got it.
Dad.
And I've always said, I'll never be able to become a decent jazz player because I don't do heroin. Isn't that sad?
I mean, you can fix that, Brian, but I don't know,
I know,
if you
I know.
should. I mean, that's always something you could work towards if you really wanted to. But
Right.
I don't condone that, by the way, to anybody. Don't do heroin. It's not good for you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. No, Gators, you can, if you want one, get one. It's $70. It's annoying, and it's a lot of room. But if you have the room, go for it.
I don't know. It seems stupid.
It
Now-
is stupid. We knew that already.
Now, you know what I should do? You know what would help
You
me
hate
just...
remember, you also hate Apple.
Yeah, when you
Which
turn it on, you
one's
get the
gonna
boom.
win out?
You get the bomb
Right?
when you turn it on, though.
You know what we got to do?
about that.
What we got to do now is we got to do the advanced search for iMac Blueberry and only show the sold listings and see what the selling price of these has been. Let's see. Well, a green one sold for $32. Pick up, but and it powers up. But Apple Blueberry and that's not a picture of a Blueberry one. All right, so someone picked one up for $32 and it powers up. So they could be had. All right, this one was picked up for $75. People are buying these by picking them up. All right, someone sold one for $200 with free shipping. Someone sold this one, which comes with the ugly mouse, for $150 plus $45 shipping. Now, here's the other thing. I don't know why these. Well, this one comes with. That's the other thing. I haven't really compared the specs on these. $200, $200, $200 over.
Were they G3s
I'm
or
adding.
G4s? What
I'm
were they?
adding
Were they
this.
car PCs?
What's that?
Were they G3s or 4s? Do you know?
I think they were G3s.
Okay. 'Cause I
Yeah,
know they transitioned to the bigger with the tower ones in no time, and they had the cubes.
I
and-
think they came in like 3 different speeds or something like that. Like this one says right here that sold for $175 plus $60. That's a G3 350 megahertz. Although it's for parts, turns on, does not boot. And then this one is a G3. It doesn't say. Let's see if I can find specs on this one. This is looking like a good deal. This is looking like it could disappear while we're sitting here talking about it, and then I'll see that it was bought by Dune. And
Dude could use it. You know what? Dude could use it for streaming.
now let's see. This is a M5521. I don't see. It doesn't say what speed it is. But then again, my nostalgia doesn't really care all that much about having. I just kind of want to get the idea of, is there a reason why this is marked down relatively low to what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that sometimes people get deals on them for $30 and pick them up locally. Sometimes people are spending over $200 easy to have them shipped, and people are buying parts ones. People are buying ones that turn on and work.
So you see Dune's comment there?
Let's take a look. Brian should give the gift of gifts. So there you go.
Actually,
$120, Brian.
Remember, Nick hated that I would spend his money.
Yeah, I was thinking of that, but I couldn't find a clever way to weave that in.
Yeah,
So,
right.
But
that's how we do it.
you like telling people how to spend their money.
Exactly.
All right, let's see if M5521.
Somehow, that makes it so that I have more money, right?
Well, we all know you have more money. It's no secret.
Right.
Let's see. This might be a 350.
Wow, $350
No, the megahertz. An M5521 is no, actually M5521 is correlating to the 350 and the 400 megahertz model on this listing, and it looks like they came even at 450 and 500 megahertz. I don't know how many megahertz this machine is actually. I don't know that this listing gives enough information to actually say what, because they did come with different processors at different price points. So yeah, there's no way to tell, and that I think also.
Do you think that Wikipedia will give you the different speeds that were available?
Oh yeah, I know I've read the different speeds that are available, but I don't think this listing gives me enough information to determine that.
Well, but I mean, you could know what there is at least potential, and then if the guy doesn't give you the information in the listing, you kind of ask him.
I think at this price, like you know what? How picky am I really about that though? At this price, this is a pretty good deal. Even I mean, it's 120.
It's the wrong one.
Well, I don't even know what the right one is. I don't even know what my school had.
Again,
you know,
but I would just get the fastest one that's available. Go to the Wikipedia.
Well, here's the thing.
Available, and search for that.
You know what? Looking at this, like for example, an iMac G3 350 megahertz, which is the slow model. That was being sold for parts because it wouldn't boot up, it would only turn on, and it's the slow model. It's sold at a $175 buy it now, plus shipping. So people have spent more for the same thing. Although that one had the...
and again, you can't tell from the listing whether the buyer was just a complete idiot.
That's true, but I'm seeing a very similar theme among all these. That $125 to $150 plus shipping, which could be $50 to $100, is a pretty regular going price for any of these, no matter what processor they come with. 350 seems to be a rather common model. I think most of them were 350.
So when you buy this, how long does it satisfy your addiction to nostalgia?
About 10 minutes.
15 minutes? Yeah, right.
Well, no, I mean, I probably would spend a few weekends tinkering with it and loading different things on it and trying to figure out what I could do with it. Does it stop me from wanting to buy other things? No. There are parts of me that I watch videos about how cool Tandy computers were because they had the better graphics cards and they were kind of the best, PC styles. Some of the Tandys were really nice. And so I have an itch to buy a Tandy every now and then. But I don't have any nostalgia to the Tandy. So
I have a mouse ball from a Tandy. Does that count? That thing was giant and metal.
You had what?
I have the mouse ball from a Tandy 1000. Does that count?
Oh,
it counts for something.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing is that when I go and I look at I watch a video about Tandys and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I'll buy one of those for my next tinkering machine. And then I go on eBay and I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything towards it. It's not something I ever used. And yeah, I appreciate it for the technology, but it doesn't give me that nostalgia feel to push me over the edge. Most computer things I've bought, I have some personal connection to that type of machine from my past. And so an iMac right now is giving me that. Yet I'm also very turned off by the fact that I dislike Apple.
Gators has nostalgia for a Mac. You should be so proud.
Oh my God! You know what? You only live fucking once, and I mean, I've
Well, it
spent.
depends on what religion you're used to. You could do it a couple times. I mean, honestly.
Oh, that's such a good one, Mars.
Are you really living again if you have no recollection of your previous life? Does that really count?
Yeah, it counts. Your being is still there. It's okay.
You may as well. If
Well, see, here's the advantage. If you don't remember your past life, here's
do it
your
again.
chance to repeat
Woohoo!
it.
well, here's the thing. But if you never know that you lived multiple lives, then you may as well have not lived multiple lives. They may as well have been separate beings, anyways. What's really connecting anything if there's no recollection? I'm not smoking enough for this conversation.
No.
Yeah, I
this
think
is a
that-
Saturday night smoking
Probably part of it.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
This is a conversation you should have on
you
the
know
podcast.
what? For how much that is marked down. I mean, like I said, that is under $150, and that is including
Is it clean?
shipping.
Pulling
Did
the
they
trigger.
say it's clean? Is it working?
Well, you saw the pictures, right?
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
You know what? They graded at a C, so there is some scuffing and some cosmetic damage to it. But I'm not one of those people that need my vintage things to look like they came clean out of the box. You know, I like my things to look like an appropriate age. And I gotta say, these pictures, I mean, yeah, there's like some adhesive on the handle, but like the top does not have a lot of scratches, or it's
You
not
cleaned it
all.
off with some Goo Gone or
It's
something.
it's not all like horribly scuffed. Although there's no shots of the side, but the front and the top look in pretty decent shape. You know what? Fuck it. I'm buying this.
Are you
Push
clicking
the
it?
trigger. Push the trigger before Dune does.
Gators, does it? I wonder if the speakers are still good on those.
Well, they're as good as they were. They're at least as good as they were when they were new, which
They
is
weren't bad audio on those actually.
they were. It wasn't good.
It wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad.
Let me tell you, we had those in the DAW lab, but no one used the speakers that were built into them. They were connected.
That's because everybody brought their own headphones in.
They were connected to MIDI boxes that would and audio boxes, and there are also little. All right, your order is in. Oh my God! I just did that.
Wow, dude, he just did that. He bought a Mac.
I just bought my
Dude,
first
yeah.
Mac.
It's not the M1.
I bought my first Mac.
Wow.
As soon as you get it, you realize, man,
You-
I hate this thing.
You know what though? I dare you to buy a Mac for $125. They don't. That is not the typical Mac price point now, is it?
I buy the little G3. What was it? The little MacBook. I buy the little
And-
G3 white MacBook. That was kind of a cool little device.
And here's the cool thing: I should get it by next Thursday.
All right.
So in a few weeks, we might have to do a little iMac
I could be on
tinkering
the show next week.
live on the show. Yes.
Unbox it next
No,
week. on
no,
the
not
show.
next week's show is Monday. It's going to come next Thursday, estimated. So in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, okay. Next Thursday would be 3
Now
days.
that's
from now.
estimated. Did you? Oh, you did do express shipping, huh?
The Thursday of next week, not the upcoming Thursday. That's I messed that up. I was looking at the next week, and I was looking at Thursday, and I combined that into next Thursday. I consider the Thursday of this week to be this Thursday, and then
Yeah.
Thursday. I should have said Thursday of next week.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
That's exciting.
That's right. You don't say next day until the one in that week is passed. Like tomorrow, I could say
Now,
next
of course, If
Monday.
you look at an Amazon order that's supposed to give you 2 days service, how the hell is Thursday
Oh.
2 days?
I'll tell you that really sucked. Okay, I ordered some stuff on Amazon, not a problem. Yeah, day before yesterday, right? And I'm like, okay, it's gonna come Tuesday. Great, I don't have to worry. I did not want to order something that would come in the storm that was going on. So I'm like, okay, next Tuesday, that's great. I get a notification that next morning, it's coming today. So it was like a 1-day shipping. It always happens. And I'm like, dude, there's like aerial flood warnings and crap like that. I feel horrible for Amazon coming to deliver crap to me. I'm like, that's not fair. I wouldn't have ordered if it was going to be the next day. And that's the one time I complain about something coming soon, honestly.
What really gets me is that you really have no control over
No,
Amazon's
no,
delivery schedule.
Now,
They
now-
can, you can, there is this setting like, oh yeah, let's have things show up on Monday,
Oh.
but that doesn't really even work.
Brian, I told it. You know, you have the little drop down with Amazon Prime. You can have it this day, or you can have it later on, and you get a little coupon.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
had it
yeah.
set to later on, so I could get my coupon, and they still delivered it the next day. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, that's great. I got my $5 coupon thing for something else. That's awesome. And then it comes the next day anyway, and I'm like, well, I mean, I'm usually 98% of the time, I wouldn't complain. But there was a flood. I knew there was flood warnings. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have ordered it that day. And that kind of sucked. I apologized to the guy who came to my door. I'm like, dude, I feel horrible. I am so sorry. He goes, you didn't do it. I go, yeah, I ordered stuff. Thought it would be Tuesday, and they gave it to me early. He goes, yeah, well. So I felt horrible.
So now here's the dilemma.
What? Wait, did you get the blueberry one? Not the red one?
Yes, yeah, the blueberry one, because
red
that is the color that we mostly had in the in the lab. Although that seemed to be like the default color almost. Most of them that you saw
The default was
were
blue,
blueberry.
and then
But
they had the red and the purple and the
yeah, I mean they had the
pinky
purple, the
yellow
green,
one.
and then I think we did get in at least one purple one when they bought
Did you get the
a
pinky
few
yellow
more.
one?
No,
They
we
have
did
those?
not. We didn't have those.
Oh.
But here's the other dilemma. Do I buy the cheapo mouse to go with it, which
You
is going to
gotta have
cost?
the cheapo mouse gators.
Yeah, but that's another $24 on, and I just spent $125. Do I really want to up this to a $150 purchase?
But you want
No.
it.
You know what?
want
You know
it.
what? Get your Mac, play around with it, and say, you know what? The nostalgia's
You,
not here.
you know what, the cheapest mouse I can find is $16 plus $8 shipping, and it is very scuffed up. At $25 for an old rollerball mouse with only one button. I mean, let's see. Here's another one for 14. Oh, this one's 20.
I liked the early Logitech mouse
I had a
that
mouse man with
was
the three buttons.
shaped like this package of cigarettes.
I had one that looked like a triangle. It was the mouse man. I love that mouse. That was a great mouse.
Oh,
Had
yeah.
3 buttons on it. And then I had a mouse. What was it? The trackball version, the TrackMan. That was really good too. I really enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah.
It just seems, $20 for an old roller mouse that.
I say buy it and then wait.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I
Or,
kind of.
just don't buy it and just wait until you get it.
I mean, do I want the whole package deal or? Well, I don't know. Man,
I don't know.
don't
Are
know.
you gonna get a LaserWrite printer too?
No, I'm not buying printers. I don't do the printers. I'm not.
So I think Mars is right. Just wait. Get the thing, and decide. Do you need that other mouse?
Yeah.
That's all.
Uh,
Oh, well, I mean, what if you get the thing and it really doesn't work?
well, at least it would look like a display. You know what? I just pulled the trigger for a $20 one that I found.
Whoa!
Dude, you should be so proud.
Let's get the whole package together. Oh
Together
God,
separately.
I feel so stupid right now.
Together
You know
what?
separately.
I need to shower.
Dude, you should be so proud.
Yeah.
Dune writing in. Let's hope he doesn't try to send it in a padded envelope.
Might.
Now Dune asking if I'm
Would it be worse if they sent it in an unpadded envelope?
that. Well, that's the thing is that I ordered a PC, a 486 laptop, and it was thick, but it would fit in a big padded envelope. And yes, it was shipped to me in a big padded envelope, and it had a busted up corner with all plastic pieces rattling around in the padded envelope. And I emailed that person a little polite nastygram, like, hey, not to be rude, but what were you thinking? And they're like, we're very sorry about that. We hired some people that are shipping things for us. So I was, yeah. Dune is asking, do you need the camera for it? I have one.
But do you have the right camera for it?
You know
It's
what?
like a 320. It's like
I
a
mean, after all,
320.
you're going to get the right mouse for it.
I
Oh,
didn't.
the Gators. They also sold. Did they also sell those external speakers? Were the little the sine wave ones were with the other ones? Did they have external speakers?
I don't
with
know.
those?
I got to figure out where I'm gonna find a Mac version of age appropriate Cubase for this thing, and how do I hook up a MIDI keyboard to this? But if dudes offer it a camera, that's also something we can play with on this. So we'll have to figure something out
Is
here.
that gonna be the? Is that the dude and John? Is that the dude and Bob show on Sunday? Are you gonna use?
It's a Dude and Johnny show now on Sundays. And yeah, maybe
That's
if I
right,
stream with it.
You murdered Bob to take over his show.
We didn't murder him. We
He's still around.
Bob was getting old, and there was this nice farm upstate that we, got
Oh, you
nice
said
rolling
Bob
fields.
upstate. Oh. Don't turn Bob into glue. That's not right. Poor Bob.
Oh, glue.
Dude writes, I think the cam is a bit after that. It's FireWire. You know what? Let's see. Does that have a FireWire port on it? Oh, no, that's one. The one I bought doesn't have pictures of the side panel, but I do know the side has a bunch of connections. It very well may have a FireWire. I know that FireWire was a big deal because I remember
Firework cables.
the studio I was interning at, they were doing all this like hot swapping of external drives with FireWire to try to get the recording sessions up and running. And the only thing I remember is that they always had to start early so that they could get the FireWire problems out of the way before the customer came to run their session. And so, yeah, they were not impressed with all the promises that FireWire did not deliver on. But anyways, we have gone nearly a half hour overtime here.
What?
And we have done it without Brian mentioning it once, so we must really be having fun this week.
We're getting buying
We
stuff,
are.
so.
But, while we go and look for someone to raid, we have to draw to a close another fun-filled edition of
Insert title here.
And I think we have been very educational this week. And I know I've learned something about myself that I never realized until today. But, Brian, what have you learned this week?
That you've got some issues with nostalgia.
And Mars, what have you learned this week?
And if I was on your support group, they would be kicking me out.
I learned, haters, I learned the Chinese bicycle ride is not on Urban Dictionary yet. But it could be.
Yet.
Oh man! Oh,
Because
by the
I
way,
did look, and I made sure my safe search was on. I was curious if it was other things.
By the
And-
way,
and-
I pulled up iMac on Wikipedia, right?
Yeah.
iMac, right.
Yeah.
I just did the search for FireWire. Not in there. They don't talk about it.
No, I guess not. Now, Mars, you should join the Twitch channel on a tab on there because we need peeps to do the raid. And we are going to raid one of our longtime friends here now, or it's becoming a longtime friend. Olivia Pileggi is live right now, and she always and she's doing. You know what? She's doing a little work with some audio stuff. It might even be on an iMac for all we know. So you know what?
Ask her if she has a Blueberry Mac.
We should ask her that. And you all could go over and ask her if she ever did any audio production work on a Blueberry iMac. And she might be like, wait, didn't those come out before I was born? I don't know how old Olivia Pileggi is. She's younger than me, though.
She's probably like 20.
Anyways, and I have learned that my hatred of Apple is not as strong as what is it by nostalgia. My nostalgia is stronger than my hate. Love conquers hate, and my love of nostalgia has conquered
It's
my
the
hate
force.
of
The
Apple.
force- The force of nostalgia is greater than the force of Apple.
And I've also learned if you're a heroin addict, stay far away from Brian Blues, So
Right.
basically, I've just rephrased the two things that you learned because they were
Right.
both so perfect. Okay.
Right.
Thank you for joining us. You have a great night. We're going to go raid Olivia with our huge ass raid of 1 viewer, 2 viewers. Okay. Oh, me and Brian are going to go raid. Good
All
night.
right.
Good night, you guys.
Yeah, we'll see it.
Yep. That was fun.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll catch you later. And we'll have some fun in the upcoming weeks with that. All right. Good night.
Yep. We'll see it.